What's up, guys? We're live. So we got a pretty interesting podcast for you today. So you want to kick it off, Kevin, and explain what we're going to be doing?
Oh, man. Getting tagged in here. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, sure. I'll do it. Why not? Put me on the spot, bro. Damn, in front of all these Tate fanboys, I'm scared they're going to find me, kill me for going after the master. No, so we're just going to look at this as objectively as possible. I mean, you guys already know what we're talking about, I hope, because you clicked on the video. But we're going to be doing a debate analysis. So Alex and I in particular, there's a heavy emphasis on debates on our channel. And obviously, Austen and Avery, they teach socializing, charisma, that type of stuff. So they'll be able to analyze this very well, too.
I'd like to also butt in here and tell you that I was a tri-state debate champion in high school.
Well, hey, there you go. Perfect. Avery, please tell me you were also a tri-state debate champion.
It was actually yes. quad state debate champion.
There we go. Even better.
Damn.
Well, I was a quintuple state. I don't even know what's beyond 4. I already just exposed myself.
Octopus.
Anyhow, octopus. I was the champion octopus debater, especially because I was in Japan and we like octopus over there for a variety of reasons.
Explain the concept. So Andrew Tate has recently started. I mean, you guys all know who Tate is, but he started doing live streams with this guy called Alden Ross, who's like one of the most popular Twitch streamers. And what they've been doing is they've been having like random people on, or like not random people, but like other whatever social influencers on, like YouTubers and Twitchers, to talk to Tate. And some of them are combative, some of them are positive, some of them are fanboys, right? And so he very, very recently started doing like these debates, right? I've never seen him do that in the past. So to be fair, he is very new at this. And in this one specifically, this guy HasanAbi, who's like a major, in my opinion, a major like blue pill SJW, but also in my opinion, also a fairly good debater, came on and hit Tate pretty hard. The whole thing was about 20 minutes, but it got fiery for sure. I mean, you're going to see Tate get pretty pissed off. You're going to see a lot of very interesting things. It's by far the most juicy debate I've ever seen Tate get involved in, and I think it's going to be very interesting.
I think you guys might be surprised too. You might be coming in here thinking that you already assume who we thought won the debate and why, but you might be surprised because we discussed this a little bit beforehand. And we have differing thoughts on this. So we might end up having a heated debate about a heated debate, which is always fun. It's like a meta debate. Go ahead.
And to be fair, it's not a debate. It's literally just like one point that they disagreed about. And yeah, one person got completely massacred.
Well, hey, we'll see, But we'll do a little bit of an analysis. Go ahead, Alex.
I would say it was like a debate, but then it wasn't like we're just going to play the when they're talking about that one thing. But afterwards, he started going after Tate for Hustlers University. I mean, he was like legit calling him a fraud. Like he didn't exactly use the words, but the implication was pretty clear. So he was like going after him pretty hard. He was also being super condescending, which I found annoying. But I've never ever seen anyone attack Tate nearly this hard.
No, I've seen other people, because even in that same stream, there's like this pink-haired dude that was this, but he was such an easy target. He's like this pink-haired Fortnite streamer, a guy that's like 50 years old, LARPing around about the patriarchy and shit. So Tate handled him very well, I think. But then Hasan came on right after. Yeah. So do you want to just get right into it? You want to just want me to bring it up?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. I also want to apologize in advance for the fact that we're doing this.
Who doesn't love a good debate reaction?
Yeah,
I'll give you guys at the end of the stream. I'll give you guys 15 minutes of value.
Sounds good.
Value's gay.
Values for plebs, dude. Values for beta males.
And if we get 400 live viewers, we're all going to get naked.
Let's do it. I'm already prepared. I'm already wearing my stringer. I'm hoping to have to take it off.
Yeah, the bottom half is already naked, but I'll take off the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Half.
Yes.
But is this going to motivate the guys to watch, or is it going to demotivate them to watch? Because like, do they want to see us get naked, or do they like want to avoid seeing us get naked?
Yeah, I think they do.
They got their screenshots ready. They're going to blackmail us.
Yeah. No, I think that it'll motivate them. It'll motivate them. Depends on how good we look, All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here, and a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women driving, as a matter of fact, are just generally untrue. There's no empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently and say things like, oh, well, it's just common sense, right? But it's not technically common sense. It's just your personal opinion.
Completely. It's my personal opinion based on my personal biases of my life experience. Now, when I say these, exactly. And when I say these things, X amount of people agree with me and X amount of people disagree with me. That's fine. And that's the same of nearly any statement in the world.
Okay,
I can say the world is round and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree with me. That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences, men are better drivers than women. I'm not saying there's no good female drivers. I'm not saying a female can't.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right? Or your own personal opinion backed by anecdotes from your own personal experiences. Now, your own personal experiences are oftentimes going to be incorrect and not close to the reality. That's why there's an entire field of statistical analysis. That's why we do empirical. That's why we rely on empirical evidence when we're making decisions. Why?
Can we pause
because
here?
We all carry a.
The point that Andrew Tate just made is basically the same thing that a lot of SJWs say. They're like, there's my truth, and then there's your truth, and everyone just has their own truth. And it's like, no, dumbass. Like, the past 500 years of progress in the world has come from the fact that there is an objective truth, and people find it out through painstaking research, studies, processes of science, right?
That's pretty funny. And he's so far right that he's using the same arguments as the people that he shits on all the time.
It's like you go so far right that you end up being far
same
left.
as extreme
like
left,
in a circle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I find it ironic because it's like, you know, on Fresh and Fit, and a lot of Tate fanboys are former Fresh and Fit fanboys, which I've said this before. I'd rather have them be Tate fanboys than Fresh and Fit fanboys. But in Fresh and Fit, they make fun of the girls all the time on the show, being like, I feel like, well, you know, I know the studies say this, but like in my experience, I feel like, and Tate's
facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Hasan should have said something like that, but knowing him, he probably hates Ben Shapiro. So
I will say this though, in Tate's defense, I see his point. I think it could have been articulated better, but the truth can be quite often subjective. It's like, yes, with some things we have science and evidence, right? But then sometimes you have conflicting studies. So this study says this, the other study says the other thing. And the truth can be heavily open to interpretation. So I think he could have explained that better.
People don't read the actual studies, right? They don't read the studies. They read journalists talking about the studies, or they read a headline and they think they know the fucking study, which they don't. And so they don't even understand the science that they're trying to use to back up their point, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also,
neither do we.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, one thing really quickly, like you can look at this study just in Tate's defense. I'd have to see what he popped up there again. Let me just see this really quickly. So Tate's whole argument was that women are bad drivers, right? So
it was that women on average are worse drivers than men.
Yeah. So this is assuming that bad driving necessarily automatically equates to dangerous driving, which
exactly,
you know, on the surface it seems that way. But let's say, for example, that more men tend to get drunk and drunk drive, therefore causing more accidents. Well, then
probably true.
This is probably true, right? So if it's sober men, sober women, and then you do it based off of that, then you know that's probably what's going to happen. And then also, it doesn't show, for example, the amount of or the percentage, because on average, right, you think back to like when you're a kid, you know, you go on a road trip with the family, who's the one that's usually driving? It's usually the dad, right? So I think men in general probably drive more than women do, and I'm pretty sure
on the highways, especially, which are
so I'm not sure if this even if maybe this study does take that into account. I don't know, but that's why it's important like whenever you make claims.
Skill level, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
honestly, he could have just conceded the point and been like, "Oh, you have a study? I don't know." I mean, and then he didn't have to justify it by saying like my truth and your truth. I think literally at some point in this debate, he actually says those words like my truth and your truth. So
here's how he could have won, or at the very least tied for this debate. It's very similar to what you're saying. Then, like, yeah, I will concede that women are safer drivers, than men, right? Because they are less likely to get drunk, they're less likely to do stupid shit, they're less likely to engage in street races or to speed or go 100 miles per hour or run a red light. However, that doesn't. I still think men are better drivers because if you look at like NASCAR and all that, it's all men. So men are probably better drivers in terms of their reaction time when push comes to shove or there's like a difficult situation. But they're also more reckless, which makes them less safe. Bam.
I doubt he believes that though, even though it's accurate.
Like that's my speculation. I think probably men are better drivers than women on average, but women are probably safer drivers. But they're not mutually exclusive.
They're pussies.
I should bring this up because I don't even know what A50 is. For all I know, that's like fucking like $5.
Maybe Australia.
Yeah, maybe. He said Hasan looks like he won, but he moved the goalpost. In the first Twitch video, Tate states, "I'm not talking about dangerous driving. I'm talking driving skill, like parking, for example. There's no stats to show who's better at parking." Yeah,
men are definitely better at parking. There's no doubt.
So Tate should have said that during this debate. But I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he just got flustered, you know.
Yeah, men have better spatial reasoning.
Yeah, that's a well-proven fact.
Bro, listen,
which is why when it comes to women driving, it's a funny point because the truth is different. The truth is the exact opposite.
No, listen. First things first, there's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. I'm sure you've heard that from Mark Twain. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you're deriving.
You can massage, you can massage numbers, but
you're deriving your truth from an internet study. That's fine. You can derive your truth from an internet study on a bunch of different things. The truth of life is the truth that you experience as an individual. That is the only truth that we all live within. You live within your truths. I live within my truths because these are the truths I've
experienced. He's an SJW. He's an SJW.
Certain things happen to you over and over and over and over and over again. But the truth on the internet says it's not true. That doesn't mean that your experiences are any less real. So if you to come here and say the internet says X, especially
your experiences can be real. You could be a statistical anomaly.
Dude, that is literally an SJW statement. Just pretend who just said this here. Pretend it's not Andrew Tate speaking, right? Pretend that you're just listening to the voice of a pink-haired 45-year-old feminist with glasses right now. All right? I'm going to play that again.
But the truth on the internet says it's not true. That doesn't mean that your experiences are any less real. So if you to come here and say the internet says X, especially
your experiences can be real. You could be a statistical anomaly, as a matter of fact. You can be one of those people, but more often than that,
I want to talk to you because I keep letting you talk and you're finishing your point and I'm trying to talk. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm going to. The fact that you're going on the internet, finding some study and saying that this is the truth, especially after the age of COVID and all the fucking truth we were told with that garbage, you want to sit here and say, oh, the internet said X. I'm sure the internet did.
You pause?
I'm talking about my personal experiences and some people agree with me and some people do not.
This is called throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's like there was some stuff with COVID that was incorrect, and then it had to, it was fucked up, obviously. So now let's get rid of science as an entire institution of understanding the world around us. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like everything that he's using right now, if he was in charge, wouldn't exist. The microphone made by maybe Sennheiser, some German nerds, wouldn't exist. The computer, the networks, the fucking silicone that the thing is made out of next to him, like the housing stuff, the insulation, everything that's around him, that's supporting him right now in this very moment as he's criticizing science in general, is what he's using. It's kind of funny.
Well, I think what Tate is trying to do, he's trying to discredit the argument that Hasan has. So that's why he's saying internet study, right? Technically, every study can be found on the internet, but that doesn't make it like less credible just because you can find the internet. But I think what Hasan should have done is should have brought up the evidence hierarchy. Been like, Tate, are you familiar with the evidence hierarchy? Firsthand experiences is at the very bottom and studies are at the very top. So your evidence that you have, which is your personal experience, is way less important and significant and relevant than the evidence that I'm bringing up, assuming my studies are correct. I think that's what I would have done if I was him.
He also could have just said what he said and not tried to justify it by saying that, there's your truth and my truth. Because if he just said like point blank, it's like, oh, that's not my experience. Or like, oh, I don't believe that, whatever.
Dude, that's something I would say as a joke. Like, bro, it's just your truth and my truth. That's like, what?
Yeah, there's two things that Tate could have done here to like basically redeem the argument. One is to just bite the bullet and be like, yeah, dude, it was just my experience. I was just speaking from my experience. Maybe my experience is wrong. That's it. Like, if he just bit the bullet, there's really not much Hasan could do. Yeah, dude, that was just I'm just speaking from my experience, right? Bam. Instead of like justifying it and trying to discredit the data that he hasn't even seen yet, right? Because they haven't, like, this is post editor, so Hasan put this in here, but it's not like the Tate saw those studies when they were being mentioned. Or the second thing is kind of what I mentioned, which is reframe and be like, yeah, dude, I agree with you. You're right. The women are safer drivers, but doesn't mean that they're better drivers. I was talking about skill. I wasn't talking about safety.
That's it. He did that with XQC, but he's not doing that here, which is very weird. I think actually what's happening is he's getting pissed off and frustrated.
Yeah.
And the reason why is partly because Hasan is just, he has a stronger frame. He's more masculine. He's like less reactive. Like XQC comes across super beta, right? And it's kind of easy to roll over him. But the other thing that's happening is his mic is getting cut off whenever they both talk. So whenever they both talk, he's got a setting or something that's making his mic get cut off so Hasan can talk over him as much as he wants. And I think that's pissing him off. I think it's just like he's getting pissed off about that.
I definitely disagree with the fact that Hasan is more like whatever, has a stronger frame or whatever. I think
Than XQC?
Oh, then XQC, yeah, but not stronger than Tate. That's what I'm saying.
No, in general, I would say probably not. But compared to XQC, it's like night and day.
Oh, yeah. XQC is kind of weak, and he's got that goofy accent where he sounds like he's sucking it.
He just talks like a fucking
right. But yeah, I think it's more of the fact, like, you can have, like, let's say someone you have like, I don't know, let's say Kevin is like a level 10 debater. I'm a level 6 debater. But if in this discussion my argument is so much stronger than Kevin's, I could still come out on top, even though he's a better debater than me. So I think he's probably, I don't think he's a better debater, but I think he's probably more articulate. But his argument here is pretty weak because it's just based on his personal experiences versus Hasan has some data. So he's going to have to go like 5 levels higher in order to come out on top in this discussion.
Well, I think another thing too is that you have to keep in mind, especially when you do an open panel like this where random people can come in, these people that are coming in, especially this pink-haired guy that was before Hasan, you know, they're clearly coming in trying to expose Tate about something. So they're going to automatically have some sort of information that they're prepared with that you don't have. And so the worst thing to do is to become extremely reactive to that. The best way to handle it is to be like, oh, okay, fine. Maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know. Who cares? Let's talk about something else. Right. But instead, unfortunately, Tate, I think he has a little bit of an ego tied up with like being always correct. I think a lot of his fanboys expect that from him to, you know, never make a claim that he was wrong or something. I see that a lot in these manosphere spaces. Again, I think it's because a lot of his fans, the Fresh and Fit fans, they have a lot of sort of, for lack of a better word, arrested development, where they think that masculinity is somebody who's never incorrect, doesn't have to overcome. They're just like these superheroes that don't have any flaws. And I think Tate's smart enough to understand that that's part of his allure, that he seems like he's always right, or his followers do. So I think because
similar
of that,
to Trump.
Yeah, similar to Trump. Yeah, Trump never admits when he's wrong. You know, it's very effective. But sometimes if you get caught in a corner where the best out is just to say, "Hey, I'm wrong. Let's move on." Guys like that who have built up that sort of persona, they can't do that, and so he just kind of kept digging himself into more and more of a ditch that was just so illogical that it's obvious that all he cares about is just trying to be correct, and that's
steak and butter.
Yeah, so
I'm just
Hasan kind of exposed that pretty well, I think.
I'm a little confused why Tate is always shirtless in all these debates.
Well, I mean, it's so that he can have more than 400 live viewers at once. That's why. See, as soon as Austen takes off his shirt, I'm telling you, the viewership's going to crank up to 300. It's going to go. I'm telling you, look at it right now. It's at 298.
When you look like that, why would you wear a fucking shirt, right?
Oh, now it's going to go up to 400, bro.
Austen is definitely
going to go up to 400. Look at those gains.
I thought. Austen kind of looks like skinny when you meet him, but when he has a shirt off, he's actually fairly ripped.
Well, you know, like ultimate frisbee players are known to be extremely jacked.
Are they?
Okay.
Yeah,
you didn't know that?
No. Okay.
Ultimate
it goes bodybuilders, powerlifters, ultimate frisbee
rugby players.
Good to know.
Ultimate frisbee players just have really jacked legs and calves, and then their upper body's usually pretty skinny.
So you're an outlier then, huh? All right, let's keep going.
No, that is perfectly fine. Don't give a fuck if people agree with me or otherwise. People are listening to me and they're either agreeing with me or
but
not.
you're still wrong, and that's the problem.
I disagree with you.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep speaking into a hug box where people
he can
agree with you.
Cut him off anytime he wants to.
Well, if you just completely devalue empirical evidence, actuarial sciences, the entirety of the insurance industry that relies on making these sorts of calculations to ensure that these quotes are as profitable as possible, which ends up charging men higher rates than women, is a statistical likelihood that men are more dangerous drivers than women across the board and get into more car accidents across the board. If you're going to look at all of that and say it doesn't matter because that does not correspond to my own personal experiences, then you're silly. You're being silly. You're being a silly person. If everyone thought like you did, right, we would have no scientific achievements on this planet. We would still be living inside of fucking caves. As much as I love Liver King personally, I don't think that that would be a good planet to live on. I'm pretty happy for, I don't know, all the medical achievements, all the scientific achievements that we have reached. And at the heart of all of that, all of those accomplishments lies an understanding of arriving at the truth through empirical evidence.
You done?
Yeah.
Yo, we got a Tate fanboy
My
in the
personal
house.
experience.
I will say, so what, because Hasan had kind of a mic drop there.
We are
from a rhetoric standpoint, what Tate just did was actually pretty good of just saying, you done, right? Even though he's defending a stupid position. Like, because otherwise, if he said anything, like, honestly, what Hasan just did there, it literally was just a mic drop. So Tate did try to do a little bit of sort of a kind of take the frame back by doing that. Probably wasn't effective, but it's probably the best possible move he could have done there, considering what he said earlier.
Oh, hang on. Say it to my face, dummy. Lovely, dude. You want to come on the stream? Oh, shit. I keep going to say no. I'll happily say it to your face. You know, go ahead.
Austen, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, you're being Andrew Tated by the mic.
Yeah.
Yo, I was gonna say, Alex, people are gonna realize that you could be taken advantage of for exposure just because people could just say, "Hey, I want to debate you, Alex. You're fucking wrong," and then just give them free exposure all the time.
More likely get some free coaching from you. That's usually what the black pillars do. Like, yo, man, I don't think game works. And then an hour later, there's like, so anyway, so this is how we're going to improve your Tinder profile. And then we're going to optimize the bio like this. And I'm like, God damn it. I just wound up giving this guy an hour free coaching.
Yo, so I think I just looked this up. I'm not sure about this, but it says that women are worse drivers if you calculate it mile by mile. Men just drive like a lot more than women.
So it's like the wage
that
gap.
makes sense.
Yeah. So in like what's it called? An objective, like very high level, men are worse drivers because they get more accidents, but they also drive more. So if you calculate it mile by mile,
well, that just means they're better drivers, doesn't it? Like by mile, they're better drivers. So on average, you put one man against one woman, the chances are the man's going to be a better driver.
Yeah, the average is what matters. It's like you don't judge baseball players based on just the amount of hits or the amount. You judge them on their batting average, right? So it's the same deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The best batting average in history is .36. Did you know that?
By Ted Williams.
We do now.
Career batting average?
Yeah, it's like 366 hits and 1,000 pitches. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's probably Ted Williams because he's. Well, I'm not going to talk about baseball here. I love baseball. Yeah. I used to play in high school.
This guy's pretty much correct.
Truth be told, we're meant to use empirical data in combination with our personal experience to come to a conclusion. Empirical data isn't always measured properly, and nobody's got time to check. Yep. But that said, imagine if Tate actually, because that's one of the things that you want to do is, you have these certain anecdotal experiences, especially if you say certain statements that are basically falsifiable through empirical evidence, or you have studies that can refute what you say. You want to look into the studies so that stuff like this doesn't happen. So imagine if Tate understood what Austen just said, and then he brought that up to Hasan. Instead, we would be like, oh my God, Hasan got destroyed by Andrew Tate right now.
Someone's making excuses.
If he has an opinion on something, he should probably do a little bit of research so he can back up what he says, He just has very strong opinions in front of millions of people, and then people bring up the most basic thing and he crumbles. It's like kind of
It's when someone is really charismatic, and especially since he's rich and successful, everyone's pretty much just going to agree with what he says because he steamrolls over them, and he doesn't feel the need to think about the nuances and complication because his personality makes him feel correct.
Yeah. And usually he can, like you just stated, usually 97% of the time he'll be able to get away with it without anybody calling him out or looking into it. But then
in
obviously
game, that's
somebody
really
like,
useful, by the way, right? To act
Yeah.
like
Oh, I
that,
bet.
even though you don't even necessarily believe it, like, you know, it's a nuanced thing, but it's a frame control method.
Women abhor uncertainty. Like no woman wants to follow a man.
Beta.
It's like, I don't know where I'm going. Do you want to lead? I don't know. It's like gay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I had one point to make on this, which I actually continue. I got to think of it.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing you got to be careful of. I mean, Hasan is kind of known in the Twitch community to be kind of like a dud when it comes to debating.
Is he?
Especially,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, he has done debates, but he's got destroyed a few times, and then he's like, "Oh, I guess I don't really like doing debates anymore." He's kind of like the Donovan Sharp of of the Twitch debate universe. You know, he came in all tough shit, being like, "Yeah, I'll debate everybody," and then he just gets destroyed, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't think I really am that much into debate anyway." Like when Donovan was like debating Alice, he's like, "Oh, I don't really do the debate thing." It's like, yeah, you're just saying that because you suck at it. But regardless, like imagine if Tate was going up against somebody like who debates for a living, like Vosh or Destiny. He would just like die.
Destiny way more than Bosch, in my opinion. But
Okay, I have my point.
Yeah.
It's basically that we're not saying that you should blindly follow whatever science says, because a lot of science can be bought. And that is literally true. Like if you're a $1 billion industry, you don't think you can figure out a way to buy some studies and have them interpret things in a way that, backs up what you say. It's like the whole nutrition space. That's like so many different fields are clouded with
pharmaceutical
horrible
industry last couple of years.
Pharmaceutical industry,
Yeah.
SSRIs, chemical imbalance in the brain.
Yeah, there's some basic things that you can know when it comes or learn when it comes to looking at studies and seeing whether they're legit or not. I used to do a lot of this, especially when my channel was like almost all fitness based, because I was very much into the science of stuff. So one, you want to look at the amount of citations that it has. If it has tons of citations by other research papers or other studies, then usually it's quite legit, which is why it has a lot of citations. So usually on PubMed and stuff, you can see how many citations it has. Also, this is a little bit more complicated, but you want to make sure that everything has a p-value. So if the p-value is over 0.05, then that means it's not statistically significant. From my understanding, p-value is basically like, okay, well, if you run an experiment 100 times, how many times does that result show up? So if it shows up less than 95 times, again, this is kind of a general way of doing it, but
it's a very low IQ comment. So because we're criticizing him, therefore we must think we're perfect debaters. That's pretty dumb.
I always thought the p-value was the size of your penis divided by the girth.
divided by the girl.
Girth.
Okay, so this question, why is a multimillionaire wasting his time on a pointless debate? So you live in the attention economy. Him being on a stream with other streamers that have millions of followers is directly adding to his business because he gets more exposure. He mentions his brand.
It's people
he can go
reacting
check
to
it out,
him.
and it's literally more money in his pocket. Why would he not be doing it is the question. The other thing I do want to give Andrew Tate some props for. He had one other like quasi debate thing with who's that guy that's like, he's really annoying. He's this Jewish guy.
XQC?
He's got like a pizza review, one bite pizza review.
Oh, you're
He's like
talking
always
about
complaining.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. So he had a debate with Dave Portnoy, and he said that men are smarter than women on average. And he said that men are smarter than women, basically. But and then he said there's more dumb men and there's more smart men than women. And that point he actually made is true. At 140 IQ, there's 40 times more men than women. That's why you see like the best chefs in the world, artists, entrepreneurs, inventors, scientists, etc. They're almost exclusively male.
Yeah, it's called the male variance hypothesis, I believe, where basically it says, okay, well, for women with a whole bunch of different things, IQ included, it's pretty even for the most part, as opposed to with men, there's extremes. Like the bell curve is a lot
of children,
different, right?
Because
and it's not saying there can't be smart women. It's just that there's 40 times more genius level men than there are women.
Yeah,
women are also
like
around the same height, they're around the same attractiveness more. Men are just more varied in general.
Austin, you don't like Dave Portnoy? I'm actually a big fan of his.
Everything I see of him, he's just like being annoying and being like complaining, and like he does nothing to contribute to the vibe of what's happening. He's just like sucking the vibe out of it by like being obnoxious and like kvetching, as they say, right? He's just like, what? It's like
I don't like Barstool Sports at all because I don't know. whatever they're doing now, I remember back in the day, it really pissed me off where they would just repost other people's like viral content on their Instagram and they wouldn't even credit them. And that's how they grew their brand. So they grew their brand by stealing other people's content, which, as I'm sure we're all content creators here. You can't help but take that a little bit personally because you know that it's hard work for people to come up with their own shit. Somebody shares it without giving you credit. Those people can fucking rot in the ground and go fuck themselves. So,
all right. So what's the conclusion of this point? I think one big lesson to take out of this is if you are like legitimately losing something, it's okay to just say, you know what, I was wrong. And if you say that, people respect you so much more. If you're like, you know what, I fucked up, I'm wrong.
Now here's the thing though, with Tate's audience, that would make Tate's audience lose respect for him if he concedes in any way, if he bends the knee at any point, because he built his whole entire brand as being like, you know,
great character.
I feel like stuff like this is kind of how you
exactly.
Stuff like this, it opens you up to like getting destroyed in like a bigger and bigger sense. Like if people know that that's your weakness, they can just exploit that, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the whole fresh and fit thing in a way, right? It's like,
well, I think before making a controversial opinion argument, you should have a coherent idea in your head how you were going to defend it. Every controversial stance I take, I have a rough idea of how I can defend it if I'm challenged on it, right? So I think Tate had no plausible. He never actually gave this any thought. He just, that's one of his many controversial opinions, but he never thought about how he's going to defend it. If you're a public figure and you're doing live streams and debates, you have to have a rough idea of how you're going to defend your points.
Yeah,
and there's a good chance he doesn't even think what he's saying, right? There's a good chance he doesn't even believe it, right? That he was just saying it to get views and to be controversial, and now he's being forced to defend something he doesn't even believe. I think that's also a very high possibility.
Well, this is how he gets his opinions. He goes to a random number generator, press start, and then wherever that number lands on, that's the position that he takes. So he does. Did you ever see his position on sparkling water? It's the funniest shit ever.
Yeah,
like,
it's hilarious.
Sparkling water
is
somebody
sparkling water.
If you're afraid of sparkling water,
Andrew
you're a beta
Tate
male.
on X, just before you watch the video, think like, what is he gonna say? And half the time you're just gonna be wrong. You think like this is could be one of his sparkling water. What are you, a fucking faggot? You gotta drink bubbles in your water. You gotta get your little twinkle toes hydrated. But what he says is like, if you can't handle the bubbles, can you go to war with a man who's afraid of bubbles?
Yeah.
You're afraid of the bubbles? You can't drink it? Tap water comes for free from the government. It's like, dude, it's so funny.
I don't know, dude. I feel like I can really accurately predict all of Tate's arguments. They're pretty actually, like, he does fall into.
Okay, is this going to be next week's stream? I bring up like 50 Tate opinions and you try to predict it and you're wrong like almost every time.
Yeah, dude. We can do it right after this.
Well, it goes to show you, assuming
up
Austin's right, and I'm more on Austin's side here, it goes to show you the power of charisma, right? Where you can literally frame certain things that are ridiculous that to make it sound reasonable, but not just that, you can argue both sides and make them sound equally convincing because of your conviction and the way that you say it.
People
right?
So that's why I also don't want us to come across like we're blatantly hating on Tate. I think he's awesome. I think he's charismatic. I think he's funny. He is the best salesperson that I have ever seen in my entire fucking life.
/marketer.
At the end of like a podcast he's on, he will get you convinced that you're going to die alone being like tortured by a government in like an Amazon locker, like wearing 75 masks, unless you join his course. And you're like, what the fuck is he doing? How did he do that? Right?
I also think like his stuff about women, a lot of it is I disagree with, but his stuff about discipline, being successful, the mindset, I think that stuff is actually very useful. Like, he's got a lot of really good advice on those subjects.
Yeah, that's why
depression doesn't exist.
I actually I think that's he makes a very strong case for that.
What? How depression doesn't exist?
Yeah, how depression isn't real.
No, that's pure nonsense.
That's nonsense.
I think it's not entirely true, but I think it's partially
true.
Dude,
neuroinflammation and molecular things that are happening in your brain, that's just completely made up, bro. It's just you got to think yourself out of it, you know? When you're being abused by your family members and like being raped and stuff, dude, it's just all in your head, bro. You just gotta not be depressed.
I mean, most depressed people aren't being
because
abused by their
that
family
part
members.
is a little bit different. Yeah. Because if most people conflate sadness and negative emotions with depression, which are two completely different things. So if he's attacking depression as it's kind of colloquially known, of just being like, oh, I'm sad, I'm depressed. No, you're sad, right? You're just being a bitch. It's different. than
I mean, like,
actually
yeah,
being
if you have
depressed.
like a hormonal imbalance or you have a
That's a real thing.
Any of the millions of stuff, like you can't just money your way out of it. You can't just be like, I'm gonna get more money. Like I have a shitload of money and I get like fucking
that whole argument is very like people get it wrong. They assume that depression is entirely a physical thing because your serotonin goes down when you have depression. But what they don't count for the fact is, let's say your parent dies. That is going to cause depression. People who have like major life events tend to get depression after that. And maybe your serotonin goes down because you're not going out, you're not working out, you don't have a good life, you're just in your bed doing nothing. That can change your brain chemicals. And they've shown that like winning tennis games, that increases your testosterone and dopamine and things like that. So your brain chemicals are changed by the way you're living your life and the way you think. And it's not just purely physical. So that's his argument. And I think it's partially true.
Yeah, what AG just talked about it's called CBT, and it goes back to the Stoics. It's basically a way of like trimming away untrue and unhelpful ideas in your mind, the way you think, and getting more helpful, more true ideas in your mind. So, yeah.
I agree with what you said, Avery, but that's not really what he's arguing. He's more like saying, like, yeah, the people who are depressed is because they don't have money and they don't have women, right? And like, if you just get more money and you get more chicks, the depression will go away. He's not actually talking about like doing things that will actually increase your, brain chemistry, like going to the gym, getting into flow states, like having social experiences. Like if he said that, I would agree with him. But like if you're depressed and like someone gives you more money, you get $100,000, it's not going to fix your depression. But yeah, like doing social experiences, stuff like that, which changes your brain chemistry, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, the reason Anthony Bourdain killed himself is because he secretly actually wasn't that rich and famous at all.
Yeah, all right, Alex, I got 3 opinions for you, and I want you to predict what they're going to be. Andrew Tate on Day Game.
He probably thinks Day Game is for fags.
I like the username, but do you have a link to that? Because I'm very curious about that.
Okay, basically what he says is you can't find any hot girls in Day Game. I literally have videos of my student approaching girls that won Miss World competition. Like they were the hottest girl in the entire planet one year. Wow. So yeah, anyway, here's another one. Andrew Tate on Celsius versus Fahrenheit.
Oh shit, that's a random one.
He definitely thinks Fahrenheit's stupid.
Yeah, he's European, so he's probably for the Celsius system, I guess.
Literally the exact opposite. He says Fahrenheit gives you more degrees of difference, and you can understand what the temperature is going to be like more accurately. So he's full Fahrenheit all the way.
Okay, interesting.
That just means that he heard
Andrew
Fahrenheit
Tate on
learning
languages.
On learning languages,
he thinks it's
for
stupid.
pussies.
Yeah, he. You know what?
Why would I have to learn any more languages?
I think he's actually probably pro learning languages because he's all about like
anti-English only. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. It's like
definitely
he just hits a random number generator to come up with a fucking opinion, and he's like, I'm gonna practice my charisma skills, my fucking game skills to like just back this
okay,
down.
Fair enough. You got me. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking more of like in terms of political stuff, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't even know who the fuck even talks about Celsius versus Fahrenheit. I've never even thought about this. Like, let me give my opinion on Celsius versus Fahrenheit.
That's what people subscribe for.
Oh, how about this? How about looking at your phone first thing in the morning?
He probably thinks
he's got to be pro that. He's addicted to his phone.
Yeah,
he's like on the phone is where all the money is. It's where all the pussy is. That's why I spend so much time on my phone.
No, he's like, that's why you're plugged into the rest of the world. Like, yeah. So he's like, this is your the connection device to the rest of the world where you build your empire. Like,
and you know what's funny is like you could literally see him doing the exact opposite thing where he's just like, if you touch your phone in the fucking morning, you have no discipline. You're a fucking loser. You don't deserve to live. You need to train, do push-ups. You don't have time to check Instagram. You got to do push-ups. Like you could see him saying anything, right? I think that's a good challenge is like, dude, all of us should just get 5 random opinions, make a 30-second or minute clip on it, and just defend these random opinions that you haven't even chosen, and then just like as an exercise.
Okay, awesome.
See whether we believe it or not.
Hate on public masturbation.
Fuck, dude. I don't know.
I think it's totally okay. Sometimes
if you have to touch your dick, I have a lot of testosterone. You're not a man. You don't have 17 women you can call up to fucking touch your dick for you.
Nah, bro, you're wrong. You're in a rush, man. You don't have time to get home and masturbate. You gotta rub one out while you're at the library.
Wait, are you serious?
That's what he actually said.
No, I'm making this up. No,
I could see him saying that. I could see him being like, I have so much testosterone running through my body. Sometimes I just have to
You
I just have to do what has to be done.
One of my entrepreneur friends, I'm not going to say who, but he makes like 500, 700K a month. I asked him about like, do you jerk off? And he goes, yes. I mean, sometimes it's just like more efficient. Like I'm horny. It's distracting me. I just take 2 minutes and fucking jerk off. And then I get back to work. He's like, my testosterone's too high, bro. I'm like, my libido is just nonstop. So I got to like bust the nut or I can't focus.
Should we keep going?
He's like, I can't even have time to go on a
bit.
date when I'm in the flow state sometimes. What?
We've been at this part like 30 minutes.
I want to add one last thing. This is an exercise I do with my clients all the time. I try to have them argue opposite sides of. I actually end up doing debate practice like on a weekly basis because I make my clients do it because it's a way for you to become better at speaking and talking. So something like what Austen was just saying, if somebody can with a straight face act as if they really believe in something they don't believe in at all, and then the other people believe it, that's going to carry over a lot to just general charisma. It's just a good thing to keep in mind.
Andrew Tate on books, like what would you think? He'd be like, if you're not improving your mindset and like learning,
I don't think
he's
he
too smart
books.
to need to read books. He's too smart.
He doesn't
to
like
read
books. I know that.
Like, why would he read the words of inferior men who have not accomplished what he's accomplished? There's no point.
Inferior men. Why would he read a book that a billionaire has written, dude?
Andrew Tate. Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't fuck bitches, right? That billionaire was a nerd. He was a fucking dork.
He was a dork.
Nerd.
How about Andrew Tatum putting on coffee enemas?
Coffee enemas? Did he actually have an opinion on this?
Sometimes you got.
If you can't take a coffee enema, you're a bitch.
You're drinking coffee. Up the bum is faster.
See, when you're an entrepreneur like me, when you're a word domination expertise like me, you have to be efficient. All right, let's continue.
He actually says
it's
enough
enough
for
for our
losers. I'm pretty
By the
sure.
way, I want to clarify. Like, I think a lot of people think, like, I already seen the comments. We're not trying to like put Tate down. We're just having some fun. Like, you see, we make fun of each other all the time. I respect everyone on this panel.
Yeah,
and I make fun of them all the time. It's not like just because we're making fun of Andrew a little bit doesn't mean we're like disrespecting him or something like that.
You can disagree with someone. Doesn't mean you hate them.
Yeah,
right?
this is
like
all,
you can say they're wrong.
Now, you guys don't understand, though. When you are a fanboy of somebody, it's kind of like, imagine they look at Andrew Tate the same way like somebody in the Chinese Communist Party looks at Xi Jinping. If you actually say anything even remotely bad about them, even as a joke, if they're the butt of the joke, then they're going to get pissed off because you're literally like attacking their god. So it makes perfect sense to me that fanboys will not be able to see the nuance between this stuff.
This guy says, what percentage of men do you think stay stuck in phase one of a game their whole lives? Phase one is desensitization, like where you're just getting used to approaching. And dude, I'd say it's probably like 90%. And the reason why it may surprise you, but I think it comes down to trauma, especially childhood trauma. There's obviously also just anxiety that, you know, you feel naturally because you're not supposed to talk to strangers. But most guys, everyone has some level of trauma. And if they don't find a way to process it, they often struggle with just doing the first step of game, going from like 0 to 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, you know?
I'd say it's like 90% of people who watch pickup videos, but in the general population, it's more like 95, 98%. Very few men, at least in the US, very few men approach women.
Let's get back on track, guys. We're going really off on tangent. Let's get back into this.
Can I give four therapies that help people and just say the names of them? So if people are struggling with trauma throughout their lives, they can finally find inner peace from their journey.
No, fuck that. We need the views, the content.
Okay.
No, do it, man. Do it.
Okay, attachment therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, EMDR, which is basically the eye movement.
It's weird, but it has been proven to be effective. Like, it's such a weird thing, but it's got a lot of evidence backing it up.
All right, what's the fourth one?
That was all four. Internal family systems.
All right, let's play the video.
All right.
Okay.
Just all of the car crashes I've been involved in, all the times my car was hit, and all the negative experience I've had on the road, women were at fault. That is, now you can sit here and say the insurance claims say that. I never said the insurance claims don't say that. I'm saying that I am not comfortable with women driving because of my personal experience. Those are my personal experiences. You can drag up all the empirical evidence in the world you want to try and drag up. Anyone with a brain knows how that aids the world agendas anyway. I don't want to go too political on a stream that's going to get taken down. So I'm not saying that I can't find a female race car driver. I'm not saying that.
That's not what I'm saying either. I'm not talking about like statistical anomalies. I'm straight up talking about the overwhelming amount of evidence that suggests that women are more careful drivers than men. Okay? And therefore better drivers than men. You keep resorting back to your personal anecdotes. So let me walk you through this, right?
Brother,
Do you agree? Do you agree that human beings have biases?
Do me a favor.
Okay. But hey, I respected your time. Do you want to answer my question? Do you believe that human beings have biases?
Oh, absolutely. We're all biased.
Okay.
Completely.
Do you
biased.
think that those biases might cloud your judgment?
It's not about clouding judgment.
Not just your personal not just your own personal judgment. Do you think our biases might cloud our personal judgment?
I think every single person on earth is biased and lives within a biased
Absolutely.
reality.
That's absolutely true. If you agree with me on both
ultimate
of those
grift.
accounts, you understand that your anecdotes, your own personal accumulation of information is going to be clouded by your own personal biases. So you're not going to be able to assess the information adequately in the same way that empirical evidence would. This is precisely why we look at data rather than make arguments around our... Wait, let me finish. Come on.
I understand what you're saying.
This is precisely why we do that.
We went over the same point like 5 times here.
Everyone's saying kick you. You're long-winded the point. You're saying that the empirical evidence is saying X, so it doesn't matter what my personal experience is. That's fine. My point is, let me change it. Let's say that the empirical evidence says that a pit bull is more likely to bite you than a Dalmatian. But in your life experience, every time you went near a Dalmatian, it bit you, and a pit bull never did. Are you going to go up to a Dalmatian still completely and go, oh, it's fine, completely unbiased because the empirical evidence says X when you're covered in scars? No, you're going to say Dalmatians bite me for some reason, and I'm not comfortable around Dalmatians. That's called human nature.
Okay, so that's the same argument that women make on behalf of other women, saying that like all men are rapists, for example. Right? You can use that same exact logic.
Yeah, he's an
So
SJW.
I'm telling you my personal.
Yeah, he's literally going full SJW right now. Like literally the cringe things that people make fun of like, oh, SJW's destroyed type shit. He's making the same exact arguments.
Well, he's
I don't care.
doubling
I
down
understand your point.
on his position, basically. That's what's happening.
Yeah. And again, like I said before, I think the reason why I know one of you guys brought up before the reasonable thing to do would just be to take the L, but that goes against his brand. If he takes on that mindset of accepting an L at any point, he's going to lose fans.
The Chad thing to do would have been knowing what these studies were in advance and like having his own position and saying, well, they may be safer on average, or they may be safer in net, but they're not better in terms of skill level. Maybe I don't know.
But inevitably, that's always going to happen.
Sometimes you gotta lose the battle to win the war. Like
that's a good point.
He could have ended this whole discussion about the woman driving in 1 minute and then went on a counteroffensive. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So you get a lot of, because a lot of people might be saying, okay, well, why would Tate do this in the first place? It gets you a lot of fans when you speak in very black and white statements. You're super opinionated, speak with no nuance. Like Avery brought up.
Resonates emotionally.
Exactly. Somebody like Donald Trump, and this is coming from somebody who I kind of like Donald Trump. I voted for him. And I will again if he runs again. but I guess so, man. But he's very effective in that rhetoric. Like I like Trump despite that, but most people who just want to fanboy for somebody, they like Trump because of that. You know what I mean?
Imagine wanting a leader to rule you.
Yeah. But it's very much a sheep mentality. But the issue is when he argues like that, there's a lot of benefits, but then also, live by the sword, die by the sword. Also, if somebody knows how to use that against you, you just look like a fucking idiot, like he is here, fortunately. So there's benefits and drawbacks to that strategy.
Point. Empirical evidence says X. Women in this country can do X. I completely get that. Secondly, it's also a country because you're only talking about America because you're American. You don't see outside of the world. That's fine.
I'm Turkish, actually. I grew up in Turkey.
Big L there.
That's not the point.
Very big
that's
L.
not the point I'm making.
What do you mean that's not the point? That's not. What do you mean that's not the point? You literally just said the whole point is you're American, so your opinions are irrelevant.
It's
then
funny.
He says, "Oh, I'm Turkish." I'm like, "Oh, that's not the point."
There's a clip where a woman assumes that he's white and she's making a point how you don't understand black people. And then he, is like, by the way, I'm black, motherfucker. I'm half black. And this is literally the exact opposite thing happening to him.
Yeah, it's just you don't want to assume like here's the funny part of it, like the whole thing of like, oh, did you just assume my gender, you don't want to assume anything about the other person because then they can just make you look retarded, right? Especially if you form an argument based off of them having a certain identity and you get that identity wrong just by looking at them. then you just look like an idiot.
Well, that
I'm
goes into
surprised
why
he's making all
I
these
should prepare and do your
mistakes.
research. Yeah. That's why I always like before the debate I do research. But okay, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually ask most women, if it gets late at night or it starts getting dark or it starts raining heavily or the parking gets difficult, they usually ask the man to drive themselves. I know many women who do
that's
that.
true,
Not
in my
offended by
experience.
my assumption. I know loads of women who go, "Oh, I don't want to park. You park it." Loads. There's not a bad thing about it. Who gives a shit, right? It's not even a big deal. You've come on here deciding you really want to stick up for the chicks, and maybe one of them will drive over to your house. It's cool. We've got better things.
I don't
to
think
talk about.
look. Let's be real. I don't think I need to be a male feminist to be able to attract women. Okay. However, having said that,
Hasan's known to be like the Chad of Twitch too. So
Yeah, he gets bitches for sure.
Yeah, he definitely gets bitches. He gets a lot of hoes. Like
Well,
he's even like banged like famous porn stars and stuff. So it's just a weird thing for Tate again to just assume that like yeah, I don't know. It's just such a bad it's kind of disappointing. I'm like, dude, this is like such fundamental shit. When you're having a debate, you don't assume other things about the other person that can be immediately falsified.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
it's just really bad strategy.
It's bad faith to attribute negative motives to someone that you don't know, right? So you're like, oh, you're only disagreeing with me because you're XXX when you don't know that, right? So that's like the pinnacle of bad faith debating. And it's a gamble, and it won't pay off if you're proven wrong. Like, no, dude, like I actually, fuck porn stars, right? It's like, damn, like, fuck, what are you gonna do next?
It's a gamble that logically doesn't make any sense, because it's kind of like, it's like if you roll dice and you just roll one 6-sided die, and you're betting that it doesn't roll on a 6, and you'll probably be correct, but if you roll the dice enough, eventually it's going to be a 6. So if you're going around doing debates like this all the time, okay, maybe 5 out of 6 times you're able to get the guy, but 1 out of those 6 times you're going to get owned. It's just not even worth doing.
This guy's comments.
This guy's like raging. He's raging.
Like,
so hard.
yeah, anyone can get Mia Malkova, bro, for sure.
Shall we keep going?
Yep.
having said that, that was a funny implication. Having said that, you are failing to recognize what I am trying to say. I walked you through these steps slowly but surely. The thing is, the Dalmatian example that you gave is great, because you are creating now a hypothetical scenario in which you want your opponent to concede. I can do the exact same thing and say, well, in my personal experience, Dalmatians never bite, or pit bulls never bite, whichever one you thought was the more aggressive breed, right? In my personal experience, what if in a million times that I have bred pit bulls or been around pit bulls, not a single one of them has ever been aggressive? We will never be able to arrive at a meaningful solution or a resolution to this conversation if we're both operating on personal anecdotes and hypotheticals. That is not how you can conduct an appropriate debate.
Yeah, kind of wrecked him.
Now
there.
you're saying the thing I just said. I have my own biases, my personal experiences, and I say them. Some people disagree and some people agree, and I don't care. You now come along.
But you're still wrong, though, because I'm not operating on biases when I talk about women driving. I'm talking about the empirical evidence. I might have personally thought women are worse at driving than men as well. But once you arrive at, once you look at the evidence and you realize that said evidence suggests something else, you're probably not going to continue believing the prior thing that you believed, right?
We went over the same point like 5 times, and I think we're just.
I know, but it's just weird because I can't I can't break through Andrew's.
I understand your point. You're saying that even if I thought
here.
We're losing the girl.
No, exactly. I want to talk to her.
When shit gets too logical,
even if I thought women were worse drivers,
girls get the fuck out.
Yeah, when things get logical, girls leave.
They can't handle it. It hurts their brains.
Comment.
It hurts their brains.
This is something that that would have been perfectly aligned with Tate's branding, his image, and everything, and would have been a perfect retort, because you can't prove it. So he said those studies could be flawed because I know many guys that will take the blame in an accident for a hot ass girl. Tate could have just said something like that, and he could have flipped it on his table, because you basically make a claim that can't be supported. But
in his defense, he said it's
sense
late at
in a
night
way.
there. He said it's late at night there, so he's probably not in his peak form right now, right?
No, he seems
Like,
like
I'm
a man.
not-
If you're the
Doesn't
top
wanna
G,
be having
if
this
you're the top G,
conversation.
it shouldn't matter. If you're the
He
top
doesn't
G, it
want to be
shouldn't
having
matter.
this conversation. He's
Damn, dude,
frustrated.
that is a good. That is something he would probably say.
Yeah, I'm the top G. I could be running off of 0 hours of sleep for the past 72 hours. It doesn't matter. I'm dominating the world. Yeah.
You're a brokey because you sleep too much. 3 hours.
He said
is
he
all
quit
you-
sleeping, actually. No, he said, I stopped sleeping. I don't need sleep anymore. I decided, fuck
Okay,
sleep. I
AG,
don't
you're
need
making
it.
this.
Did he actually say that?
No, he actually said, I sleep like 2 hours a night.
You know what this is like? You know what Poe's law is? Do you know what Poe's law is, Kevin? It's like when people make an argument, but it's like so close to like parody that you don't know if it's a parody or like the real thing. This is what it's become.
Which makes it interesting.
Right? He doesn't sleep anymore.
Curious.
Yeah, Poe's law.
Evidence, and I'm so smart that I ignore my own eyes and ears and believe what the internet tells me. That's what he's coming.
That's not what I'm asking you to do, my friend.
I'm sure you're double vaccinated. It all makes sense to me now. You believe what you're told to believe. You don't believe your own eyes. You don't believe your own ears, and that's what you sit here and talk about empirical evidence that you found on Google. Cool. If you believe everything that's on Google, that is your prerogative, my friend. And if you think that makes you sound smart in the modern world after the 3 years we've just been through, to say that
you gotta pause. There are like so many things that he said were so retarded.
Tate is getting desperate. He's just taking like shots out of whatever, just like pot shots.
Yeah, ad hominem, and then like if you believe anything you read on Google, this is like a thing that's specific to the argument that they're having, which is like the fucking chicks being safer drivers.
Yeah, you just gotta. If there's a lesson that y'all can learn from this that are watching, it's like learn to take the L. Like Alex was saying, if you want to win the war. It's not about winning every single battle. It's about winning the war, right? It's like, Alex, you're going to love me for this. It's like in Game of Thrones, the Lannisters against the Starks. The Lannisters, I'm pretty sure, lost like almost every single battle, but they ended up outlasting the Starks and winning the war.
So,
this thing on the screen is pretty true, actually.
Well,
yeah, so if you look up the red pill, you know what comes up? The red pill, angry misogynist. The red pill, evil men who are desperate. It's all negative. If you look up Alex Jones, it's all negative. So Google is very biased, and he could have, given examples of that, made it specific. He's just so general that he's not really making a point, right? If he went into specifics, he could actually do something.
But you can't discredit a study that you haven't seen. The first step, I would have been like, okay, cool, let's take a look at the study. Show me the study. But you can't discredit something that you don't know.
Studies are for beta males. That's the only problem.
That's the problem.
Studies are for nerds.
He's trying to discredit.
Oh, let's look at the studies. Let's look at the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Experiences. And you think
I'm not asking you to ignore your own personal experiences. I'm simply asking you to look at the data.
So let's change the subject because you've just proven your point.
Okay, Andrew, do you believe? Well, I didn't. You didn't really prove anything, but it's cool. Do you believe the Earth is?
He kind of amogged him right there, but it's cool, bro. It's cool.
Round.
Aldi has his headphones on.
Oh, this is the best part. Hold on. This is the best part.
Yeah,
Ray asked about the
cool.
Earth
It's
question.
important, Sometimes you can't take the heat. Sometimes you can't take the heat, so you gotta get out of the kitchen a little bit. Andrew, do you believe the Earth is flat or round, spherical, globe?
Round.
You believe it's round, right? But when you walk outside, it feels like it's flat.
Brother, and I
it looks flat. It feels flat, but you believe it's round. Why do you believe the Earth is round?
Because I have personal experience that would.
Damn.
No, you don't.
This got wrecked.
What happened? Did you go up to the fucking moon?
Oh man,
he's
crushed.
He's really driving the point home.
Yeah.
He should have done that like 15 minutes ago, but he did kill him there.
Yeah, just make a joke out of it. But at this point, it just looks like he's trying to just defend and at any point, just to not admit that he's wrong. This is why it's terrible to just sometimes just take the L, because that little L can transform into a giant, massive, embarrassing L. Just take the little L.
Is that how you figured it out?
Exactly. I flew up into space and I looked down on Earth. And I saw a big circle.
That's crazy. Okay, you don't have to. Hey, listen, you don't have to concede on that point. But I think you and I both understand the importance of scientific, the importance of empirical evidence in that one, right? Or
all our fun.
Science.
I saw it there, and I thought, wow, this guy, okay, he's gonna ruin the stream. We had a hot chick. Now you're here.
Is that what you thought?
Just chill out. Like,
it's so what's up? Is it a little bit more difficult when I'm not like the traditional like SJW looking person? Is that why it feels like the stream is a little bit more ruined?
No, it's not difficult. As a professional, I'll tell you the conversation we just had.
Yeah, dude, you've been kicked in the face and stuff. Like, I'm sure you can handle little old me.
Whoa. Exactly. So
yeah,
I'll tell you,
he's amogging him pretty hard.
I said I am biased and I don't believe women can drive. That's my personal experience. I don't care if anyone agrees. You came along and said, don't interrupt me. You came along and said, no, that's not true because of the evidence. I came and said, I don't care about the evidence, my personal experience. You said, I also have personal experiences and we're all biased. I agreed. Then you said, even if I had personal experiences that said X, I would ignore them because the internet told me to believe Y. I believe what I am told.
That's not what I said. I said
it's
that
over.
regardless of my own personal biases that I might have, evidence is still more important than my personal biases.
I think the
When you
mic
guys
thing
all talking
is
at once,
would be really
it's
annoying.
boring.
To be fair, like it would be really annoying to be constantly cut off, and you can't cut the other person off. Like that would probably be frustrating.
I don't think he actually knew that was going on until afterwards. But yeah, from our perspective, yeah, it looks like Hasan's mogging him even harder than he actually is. Which he already is.
Yeah, but like Tate is like, he's like, don't interrupt me. Like what I would have done, I would have like, if he kept, I was like, excuse me, can I please finish? Like you're gonna let me finish my point. Like I would have just made him look like kind of dumb for constantly interrupting, or at least rude.
I never said I was a fan of Alex Jones.
I am. He's hilarious.
Are you a fan?
I mean, yeah, I watch his content. His content's great, but I don't necessarily.
Gotta make the frogs gay.
He's entertaining.
What other things?
Sure.
Yeah. The space aliens in the
Yeah, that's the
being
best
down to
definition
Earth.
of that, the fourth dimension shit. But all right, let's finish
There's
this.
some guy in the comments.
extraterrestrial 4-dimensional beings.
We're almost at
who's-
400. We're almost at 400. We're about
And
to
you've lost,
come
and
close.
it's boring. So let's just
What we
move on.
have to do is we all have to rip our shirts off and make our best Alex Jones impersonation, and we'll get to
There we go.
400 viewers,
on
guaranteed.
to the next subject.
Is that
'cause there's one thing
is
we
that
can
what
make.
happens? You just say I'm boring and I lost, and then you win. Is that what it is?
Do a poll. Do a
Oh,
poll in the
man,
chat.
Bob.
And if you won, then we'll continue to talk it. But I'm sure you've lost.
He's pretty
and
good at
boring.
tooling
Do you want me to
Right?
leave the
He's good at the
conversation that
insults.
desperately ain't?
Hassan. He's good at tooling.
Yeah.
He's good at like clever insults that just make the other guy look bad. Which, in terms of debate, that's really what makes people feel like someone won. It's not who made the better logical argument, sadly. So,
Well, in terms of like online Twitch debates, those types of things, yeah.
yeah, in terms of most debates, I mean, even political
Andrew, it
debates.
seems
Trump didn't
I
win with
guess so,
logic.
yeah.
He didn't win with
exactly.
logic.
It's like, Hillary says something and Trump's like, because you'd be in jail. And that's
It's all
the
about
only
frame
thing that
control.
that's the only thing people remember from that debate is
Yep.
That was-
because
that
you'd
was
be
a
in
That's all
jail.
I
thing.
remember.
Yeah.
That was a funny moment.
seems like you're running away a little bit.
Oh, we're just going in a never-ending
Yeah,
circle.
doesn't that make you realize
Okay,
how
yeah, we
retarded
can move on
everyone
from
is?
that.
Dude, who
Yeah, no,
is
people are
this
very
simp
stupid.
on the
even
top left?
even we are
This-
like just that's what we remember of these debates. It's funny.
I think we're really dumb, and most people are not willing to admit how dumb they are. But that's the key to becoming smarter: is realizing that you're actually much stupider than you want to think you are.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
you know what?
exactly.
I'm the dumbest.
It's the
then.
Dunning Kruger effect. Smart people or dumb people think they're smart. Smart people think they're dumb.
Mhm.
We can move on from the importance of science and Andrew's personal biases. Andrew, can you tell me a little bit about the Hustlers University, whatever that is? Not in a promotional capacity. I know that like you're doing the rounds on Twitch, and I know that that's probably
Okay, can
giving
we?
you a big
Is this
boost,
enough?
but-
Do we have to watch the whole thing?
I mean,
We're almost
Yeah.
done.
There's like 12 minutes
this is
left.
entertaining, bro.
We're
You
almost
don't want to get to
done.
400?
Don't you want to get
I
the
mean,
400 views?
there's nothing else really that happens at the rest of the video. He just keeps
There's a
beating
part where
the
he
same
brings
point
up
home and gets more condescending.
CTE that's pretty fucked up.
I want to
Or
understand.
TBI,
you know, 'cause
traumatic
you
brain
are
injuries.
a businessman. I want to understand how you generate revenue. Is it okay to get this information for free, or do I have to pay $50 and then maybe get an affiliate link and get other people to also join, so I can make a 10% cut off of them also joining
He's
Hustlers
making him so
University?
hard.
See,
You can
he's
find
having
everything on the
fun.
website, and you can join if you
And
want more
therefore he's
information,
winning.
That's fine.
So you don't want to
Anything
you don't
else?
want to share this information for free right now. You don't want to educate me on that.
I don't want to sit here and spend the next hour
told
you
him
trying
say
to
he was.
accuse me of some bullshit.
I'm not.
It's
I'm not.
too boring.
I'm here to learn. Andrew, you are a brilliant mind.
I'm sure
Maybe
as
a little
smart as you
rattled,
are.
maybe a little rattled from the numerous concussions, but brilliant nonetheless. So I want to hear more about your business strategy if
That-
possible.
Actually,
It's funny, but that's pretty fucked up. I don't know.
Well, it
Like,
just
it's
he's
funny,
already
but that's
up.
just a very petty thing to say. Like
Well,
that,
exactly.
Hassan
It-
is
it-
right, but I dislike him like because of these things he says like that.
Well,
I don't know what
it's
this is in
one
reference
thing
to,
he-
but argument from authority is basically saying that someone's an authority, so you just trust everything they say on a particular thing. But I don't know what that's a reference to. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if that. Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about the whole because the implication is Andrew Tate got kicked in the head a lot because of kickboxing and stuff. Yeah, just from an optics standpoint, if you're already up, there's no need to like take a high risk move like that because
I was
That's
yeah, I
one
was kind
thing
of on
that people-
Hassan's
This
team
is
until
the story of my life on
Yeah.
this podcast.
what is that? I didn't.
All
I
right,
don't
we're
see the
we're
stream.
18 away
Oh.
though.
Well, Austin, one of us has 100K subs on YouTube, and the other one, well,
So what's
Too focused
important?
on
Just like
value, bro.
appealing to the lowest common denominator and just getting as many followers as possible, or is it about like having impact? Because if you
Yeah,
want to
dude,
go for a
yeah,
heavy
dude.
impact,
Yeah, dude. Obviously, the former, man. You're still thinking about
It's all
Impact?
about clout, bro.
Dude, it's 2022, man. No one cares about Impact.
yeah, you're probably
It's
right.
quite interesting that people who are too scared to get in the ring try and make fun of people who have bravery to try and make fun of.
No,
you.
I
Like,
do think
"Oh,
it's very brave.
brave."
I do think
Okay,
it's very brave.
Oh, all right, so let's not detract the bravery of men who do things you're afraid to do. That's the first thing. The
No.
second thing-
You are absolutely incredibly brave. You still might have CTE, but you are incredibly brave. I appreciate it.
I mean, whatever, it's fine. The point I'm trying to make is, I know you want to sit here and talk about hate you and try and break it down, and you've prepared a bunch of notes, etc.
I have no notes whatsoever. I'm a dumbass. I don't know anything I'm talking about. I'm simply here to learn from you.
No, can we stop with the sarcastic shit?
This is
Just have
actually
an
true.
No,
actual
I'm literally, but that's the
No,
truth.
you're being so sarcastic though. Like, why are you being so sarcastic? Like,
I'm
let's
not.
have a
I'm
conversation.
literally.
specific.
Bro, you
Oh,
just said
come
like
on.
10
Come on.
things
Come on.
that
Come
were
on. Come on. Come on.
sarcastic.
I'm asking questions.
Yeah,
396. We're almost
He
at
is
400.
being
397.
He's being
It's
sardonic.
pretty clear
as hell.
that I was the
damn.
better Hasan. So
Yeah, that's agreed. I agree with that one.
if
That's for sure.
if you could just get out the call, maybe it would fix the stream.
I
Uh-huh.
think so.
Oh,
If you guys would like,
Yo, we hit 400.
Nice. Take your shirts off.
Austin, take your shirt off.
Oh shit, oh man.
like me to
All
leave
right.
the call, I can do that.
I'll
I
take
don't
mine
I
off.
want to be rude.
I gotta get back to work.
I do not want to be rude, boys. You know, this is your
Everybody
stream.
Alex,
It's,
take your shirt off.
monetized for making it too
I'd love to
sexy.
talk
We
to
have to
you
hit
in
400.
detail if you'd like to.
We
I
Alex,
hope
get
one day you
naked
can,
right now.
educate me on your revenue
Take your
strategies.
shirt off. Don't be a fag.
You know what,
It's-
Alex, the longer you
It
wait,
does
we're
look
just
a
going to
little
make you
bad
take
though
off
if
more.
you're like, if you feel as
You guys
though I
are
should
such
leave the
fags.
call because you feel like I'm overpowering you a little bit.
You should
Screenshot.
be aware.
I
and
am.
understand-
You guys
Thumbnail.
Is that a bad
Yeah,
question? Do you not
no.
educate thousands
If
of
you-
young men about your business strategies? I want to know more.
Look, the views are going to keep
I want
going
you to
up
be more
because their shirts
socially
are
aware
off.
and understand that since you've joined the stream, everyone's begging for you to leave. The vibe's down. It's
Oh,
boring. It's late at night for me. I came here to have fun. You're being boring. No one thinks you're cool. No one thinks you're intelligent. No one thinks you're funny. And you
I don't
need
think
to
I'm
point
cool
people-
or intelligent. I
point
just have
people-
questions and you're not answering them for some reason.
No, I don't
Why
have
are
to
we
answer your-
derailing?
I don't have to answer your questions. You're not the police. I don't have to answer.
No,
anything.
no, not at all. No, I am not the UK police nor the Romanian one. I'm
Oh
simply
my
asking
God.
you
Funny.
questions
Like,
about
pretty good one.
your business strategy, which you
Because he's been arrested by those two
Right,
countries
right,
in the
right.
past.
Hassan, I will give Hassan this. He's kind of petty, but he's pretty witty.
Yeah, he's witty, but he's doing it in such a petty way that even though I like the joke's funny, it still makes me lose respect for him in a way. Like he's clearly won the debate. You don't really need to keep like pounding on him like that.
Pounding on him like that.
Yeah.
Phrasing. Okay.
literally
Where are the
educate
girls?
people on. I just
Where
wanna know
are the
how you
girls?
fucking, how you do growth and revenue. Why can't I be a hustler? I want to be a hustler like you. I want to be a top G, a top bloke, a proper bloke.
You can find out more on the website. I would like the stream to get fun again. If you want to discuss this,
You
we
don't think
discuss
your
it.
educational content is fun for people to consume?
I think everyone's saying kick him. Read the chat. Have you guys read the chat on your stream?
You want me to leave that bad? I'll. If you want me to leave that bad, I'll leave.
Stuff like that. Everyone knows you're
listen,
losing.
I'm just a messenger, but you're just kind of
Go
When
ahead.
you do stuff like that, everyone knows you're losing. When you're like trying to get the other person out, be like, or when
Yeah.
you're like, I'm gonna go, or you gotta go. Like it comes off really obvious if you're losing when you're doing stuff like
It's
that.
also funny he's not directly saying it, right? He's not saying, "Hey, you should leave." He's saying other people want you to leave because it would seem beta to just say, "I actually want you to leave." And by the way, you're being Andrew. You got the Andrew Tate mute, Austen.
You're muted, Austin. You're muted.
I know. I'm just trolling my friend. I was talking shit about him on stream.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
like being sarcastic.
Yeah. So you see, you heard it there first, folks. Basically,
Saying wasn't sarcastic. You can't even convince me that.
None
Alex
of
is
none
got
of
some
what I
traps.
have mentioned is sarcastic. I truly
So
would
what
like
you
to know
said
more.
earlier wasn't sarcastic.
85% kick. 85%. No one thinks you're funny or interesting or
Count
witty.
Trapula.
Your little comebacks. No one's interested in them. You have
Hey,
a-
why'd you put your shirt
still
back
over
on,
400,
Alex?
we're not
bitch.
under
What the
400
fuck?
viewers. Put your shirt off.
Only beta
Wow.
males wear shirts. Come
We
on.
can only take
You
our
know what?
shirts.
We're gonna remove him from the stream. Okay. Until he puts his shirt off. Takes his shirt off.
Fuck you.
All right, how about this?
Alex,
we can
were
put our
talking
shirts
before this
back on.
podcast. I mean, you're always late, man. You're like leeching off of us for views.
Clearly,
Exactly, bro.
clearly.
If it
We're
gets
replacing
under
with Coach
400,
White
we
Bill.
can put our shirts back off. Shirts back on again.
All right, everyone.
now that we're going to actually
everyone
talk
leave
about
the
useful
stream.
stuff, it's going to go below 400.
Okay, here we go. Okay, good.
All right, whoops. This one.
There we go.
Okay.
We can have a
Oh, it's below
conversation
400.
again.
Fuck.
We can have a conversation again in the future if you'd like. If you're brave enough, I guess.
HU has an affiliate program for some people if they want to affiliate, like everything else in the world. We have over 100,000 students making more than they invest each month. If they didn't make more than they
Wait, what was? Let me see. What was the graph that he just put up there? Oh,
I don't know. I guess Hustler.
I guess that's like the actual Hustlers University.
Yeah.
we have over 100,000 students making more than they invest each month. If they didn't make more than they invest, they wouldn't sign up. One of the most successful online
They wouldn't sign up. That makes no sense.
Are there multiple
You
layers?
sign up, you don't know you're making more than you invested.
If you want to join and have
That's true.
more information, it's all on corporatetape.com. You can find.
I signed up on my credit card. Now I'm deeply in debt.
And you're a brokey. Nobody gives a shit what you think anyway. You've ruined the stream. Everyone wants you out of it. So either change tune and get with the program and be fun, or keep sitting here and talking sarcastic and really slowly and repeating yourself and talking about how you only believe what you see on the internet because no one really gives a fuck and it's boring. So let's move on to something fun. Let's get the tempo up. I've just told you about HU. We do have an affiliate program. You can find out more on corporatetape.com.
Yeah. It is. So it is a multi-level marketing scheme. Got it. I just wanted to figure out if it was truly a pyramid scheme. It would be inappropriate of me to assume that it's a pyramid scheme without having you explain it. In such
There actually
terms.
is something related to game
All right,
here.
whatever.
In a way, I'm going to try to make it relevant.
All right, explain it.
Are you
Andrew
talking
is
about the
clearly-
affiliate method for getting girls?
Yeah, that you got to sign up to my affiliate program, and then I get half the girls. No, what he's doing is he's in a bad mood. Andrew Tate's in a bad mood. He's not in state, if you will. And because he's in a bad mood, he's not as good with language as he usually is. He's not as clever, funny, or charismatic as he usually is. If you watch his debate with XQC, he explained things much better. Like he did a better job at debating because for whatever reason, he was in a better mood. Hasan is feeling it. He's in the zone. He's crushing it. And so he's being more clever, witty, etc. And it just shows how like your state really makes a difference between how you do everything.
It has to do with winning and losing. When he was debating XQC, he felt like he was winning, so his brain was releasing more neurochemicals, and he was more charismatic and charming and dominant. Versus now, his brain knows that he's losing, right? So he's going into fight or flight, right? And he's taking like these like little pot shots and like just like grasping at straws, basically.
That's fine. It is fine.
The same thing
He's
happens
been
with
attacking
sports.
him and then trying to get out of it.
Serotonin, lobsters, Jordan Peterson.
It all goes back to the lobster.
It's all
That's
lobsters.
the secret, guys.
Lobster gang.
Yo, guys, petition to have Austen Summers debate Andrew Tate. Somebody said
drop
that
a
in the
one
chat
in the
a while
chat
ago.
if you want to make it happen. Actually, why don't you DM Andrew Tate? Actually, comment on all of his photos. Comment on 27 photos per person, and I'll do it.
And all of his affiliate TikTok accounts.
Oh, so I was going to talk
Whatever
about
you
the
guys
affiliate method for getting girls. Basically, this is something that, man, I don't want to say his name, but basically,
David Bond.
Yeah.
well,
I was just
where
saying,
he got it.
he didn't
where
wanna
he
say
got
the
it
name.
from. Where he
Affiliate
got it
method
from
with
is-
girls. It sounds like David Bond would do something.
Yeah, he mentioned it on my podcast.
I guess I could. Could I mention it? It just sounds weird. Basically, the guy, his name's Jeffrey Epstein, and he had an affiliate method for girls. They
That's
were
a good
all
way to
underage.
start
That
it.
was the downside. However, you can learn things from bad people, right? Like you can learn how to speak from Hitler, for example. Like he's a bad person, but you could learn like speech or whatever, getting your energy right or whatever, taking meth before you speak. But anyway, so he did the affiliate method. It was like $200 you come for a massage, or if you get a new friend, if you bring a friend, I'll pay you $200 just for bringing her, so they don't have to even do the massage. So basically, the same method could be applied to getting like of age girls, right? And that's kind of what David Bond's been doing. Like he'll have like a kind of like a pussy coordinator. Everyone's heard about that, right? In LA, they have pussy coordinators. But basically,
Guys,
yeah,
let's do
he
Why
goes to
his
these
game
like,
is
and he'll pay them like, hey, if you introduce me to a girl and we end up like hanging out together, I'll give you $20 for the introduction. So yeah. You have like a system of girls that are close to you that are introducing you to new girls, which is kind of good.
I look forward to watching your CNN interview where
So
you're
basically, what you're
taken out of
saying
Australia.
is what you're
Affiliates
saying
are part of
is-
like every type of business in the world. It's just like where David Bond he like got the inspiration from.
Yeah, I even have a system. I have like a few assistants who I outsource my texting to, and every time they give me a qualified date, it's $50, and if I bang the girl, they get an extra 25, so 75.
Nice.
And then they're motivated
Yeah.
to set up dates for me.
Yeah, and what
pretty
Andrew Tate
cool.
is doing is not multi-level marketing. Like,
Because there's only 2 levels.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically him and the affiliates. And like affiliate marketing exists for basically everything. Like a lot of products out there and blah, blah, blah. So.
Well, the only way you can get the affiliate link is to sign up for the course. So that is, that is a little bit more like MLM.
It is MLM-esque, yeah. But that's not necessarily.
But it teaches other methods for making money too. That's not the only one. It's got like 18.
Clarify. MLM is often associated with scams and frauds, but not everything that's MLM is a bad product. There's some really great products which are run by MLMs, right? I know personally like several really awesome products which are like top-notch stuff. But
what MLM are you about to try to recruit us to, Alex?
No.
Yeah.
I don't
So Neutralife
Alex, man,
is
I don't have the
actually,
time
is
right now,
actually
dude.
really
I'm
good.
That's the number one thing when
now.
like you talk about MLMs and somebody comes to their defense, be like, oh, you're in an
No,
MLM.
most of them kind of suck, but there's some good ones. So I'm just saying.
Dude, he brought us in with this podcast, but in reality, this is what he's trying to bitch us.
No, I'm just saying, just because Hustlers University is MLM doesn't necessarily mean it's like a scam thing, right? Those two things can be mutually exclusive.
You see, we have a podcast, and then we convince other people to do podcasts, and then those people convince other people to do podcasts. But then get this, we benefit from those people that convince the other people to do podcasts. Okay,
You make 10% of your upline.
yeah.
You made 10%
All right,
of your
let's.
subscriber count.
Shall we continue?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude, I can't.
We're almost done. I mean, I'm cool with
We're
calling
almost
it.
done. You want to call it?
It's up to you guys, but I think
This
we've
is
got.
7
No, I
minutes.
just don't want to
Talk
listen to
about
this.
7
debate
minutes is a
anymore.
lot.
It's like not
7
We
minutes
got-
is a
we
lot.
got through the
Him
main stuff.
talking shit
Okay.
at this point.
So I guess we'll just do the. Should we have random people come on and defend Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I think that'll be.
Or no.
Arguing with
He-
Andrew Tate fanboys, that could be fun.
I think that'll
Yeah.
be very interesting.
Maybe
Well,
1 versus 4, which isn't very fair because honestly, they'll probably lose.
How about
1
this?
versus 1
People
against any of us anyway.
post a comment in quotes, and it's just like any word, and then we'll take an Andrew Tate position on it. So like, for
okay,
example,
yeah.
kale smoothies or like camels or whatever. Just put that whatever comes to your head in quotes, and we'll make an Andrew Tate rant based on it. No, dude, this is an Andrew Tate reaction channel. We're part of. We're gonna pitch Hustlers University from now on.
Yeah. Click the link below to get your copy.
Isn't it crazy how marketing works? Even if we're not like supporting him, or we're not even like supporting or critiquing him, we're just like generally talking about him. That's getting him marketing.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's
wait,
marketing.
we got a bunch. Austin not posting on YouTube. Let's take a position on that one. This guy Austin is a faggot. He does not post on YouTube, and that's why he's not serious about growing his channel growth. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have time to put coffee up his bum.
The thing is that when you're a high value male, when you're a dominant man, you don't need to post YouTube
take the
videos.
accent.
People, you post YouTube videos for you. So that's
If you don't give your
they'll
woman a
post your
rim
videos for
job,
you.
is that really your woman? You haven't even claimed her properly. That's your property.
Yeah, you guys are much better with the accent than I am.
apparently our accents are
Looks
terrible,
maxing.
according
A
to
bunch
that.
of dorks. Just be 6'3" like me.
Wait, how about this one? Kissing your homies goodnight.
See, if you're actually toxically masculine, you have so much masculinity that it overflows and you just have to share it with your brothers. Okay? That's not gay.
Bros before hoes. This is how you build the loyalty.
This is fun.
Abortion.
Yeah, bro jobs. Bro jobs, baby.
Bro jobs.
Haram. Haram.
My fitness pal.
I want the asteroid.
If you have to track your calories, that means you're not smart. See, for me, I was a chess prodigy. I do all the math in my head. I'm such a high value man that calories don't even affect me.
Wait, how about
Calories
this one?
don't
Calories
apply.
are
I
too
always have
afraid
this
of
lean
me.
physique no
They're
matter what.
too
If you-
afraid
You're
of
not
me to
into
accumulate.
homosexuality, you're gay. You're a nerd and you're gay.
Oh my god.
Dude, this is a good one. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Any hole is a
Your
goal.
wife wanted.
Why would I leave my house to have women come to it? I don't know. What would he say, AG?
Friedman.
Girls come to me, I come to them.
Golden shower.
You see,
You don't
sometimes you have
fucking
to
like
establish
them.
dominance with your woman. You have to show your woman that you're willing to piss all over her to claim your property. Your
Literally,
dog is
it's a
claiming the
Respect
property all
thing.
the time.
It shows that she respects you. She won't let you pee on her. She doesn't respect you.
Women should accept my golden showers unprompted. Unprompted.
How about tampons?
Oh my god.
Come on, guys. Let me have it. Come on, Andrew Tate. You guys are too right.
Women should be bleeding through their clothing to signal to other men that they are loyal to you. Oh my god. This is the anal. Boring. Sex is just boring. No one gives a fuck. No one wants to have sex. Yeah, but you pretend that you do because you don't have it enough. Sex is boring.
Okay, one last one. Bukkake.
I don't know which position to take on this one. What would
How do you build an inner circle if you haven't? If everyone has an ejaculate on a woman's face together.
No, here's the thing with bukkakes, okay? If you're actually a high-value guy and you're fucking a bunch of bitches all the time, you don't have enough left in the tank to be able to explode on a woman's face, okay?
Okay,
bukkakes are an illusion. Bukkakes are a fantasy of beta males.
Wiping after you poop.
That's your female's job.
Yeah.
And she does it with her fucking tongue.
Do you know how hard life is gonna fuck you in the ass, and you can't even be pegged by your woman?
Oh my god.
The testament of a man is how much pain and how much embarrassment he can feel. Well, the ultimate way of feeling that is by being pegged.
Useful idiots for my expansion of my empire.
Accurate.
Truest thing said this whole podcast.
Oh my god, that's one. That was awesome.
Okay.
Oh my
Well, I
god.
think that's good enough.
Useful idiots. That was awesome.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was good. Should we invite any do you have any like Tate fanboys in the house who disagree with us?
Any Tate fanboys?
How are we going to get them on this? This is like a process.
How about we have one person team up with that guy and pretend that he's Andrew Tate?
I'm not good at
so
accents.
Austen pretends to be Andrew Tate and debates on the side of the fanboy against the rest of us.
You guys are much better doing the accent than I am. I can't do the British. I can do other accents, but I can't do the British one.
No,
The thing is, he's like a half British accent, so it's like it's kind of easier. In a
It's
way.
like weird. So it works out. If
Scream
you're
and talk
American,
very loud.
if you're American and you try to do a British accent, you'll probably end up sounding like Andrew Tate, just because it's, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, should we invite this?
I will only rant in his accent.
Should we invite Eli on? He said he wants to debate us.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, who's gonna impersonate Andrew Tate and be on his side?
I'll just drop
A.G. Hayden.
Let's see if Eli.
I don't have the
starts simping
accent. It's got to be one of you two.
All right, Kevin.
All right, I'll be on his side.
All right, Eli, I dropped the link in the chat.
I can be.
Now, can anyone
what's his
join?
brother's name?
Yeah, but we don't have to let them on.
Okay.
Dude, how does his brother
Tristan.
feel that Andrew Tate is like infinitely more popular than him?
Oh, he
I
probably
don't think he
hates it.
cares because he's just making tons
Yeah,
of
I
money.
don't think he cares.
Apparently, they share a bank account, which
But they don't share.
It's actually true.
They don't share
It's
women.
like my
though.
brother's money is my money.
There is
I don't
nothing
care,
gay
blood's
about
blood.
a shared bank account between two men.
Yeah. All right, this guy's real. He's showing his face, so he's not going to show his dick. Should we let him on?
Yeah.
Elko.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, Elko, don't show your dick, please.
I'm not gonna do that.
Can you take your
Good
microphone?
way.
and
It's a
move it
good way to
next
show
you?
your
Over
masculinity.
here? Yeah. Dude, come on. You have to pay for that. That's not. I'm worth more.
A true
Anyway.
high value man.
Yeah, no,
I
high
respect
value
it.
man, a high value,
Somebody's been paying attention to the courses and hustlers you.
Well, out of curiosity, because Hasan keeps painting it as an actual MLM. And the thing is with MLMs is like there's a pyramid and then you kind of just get fucked over in the end, right? But with HU, it's a little different because there are different ways that you can learn to make money. But I'm not going to lie to you, those ways, like the courses that they have, they're very well organized, but they suck. Like you could do the same
How do they
thing.
suck?
They're just not very like the crypto one, right? They have like a crypto course and where you just follow the signals. Like it's not the best,
You've gone through
And-
the courses yourself, right?
Yes, I actually have. I left right after. I was just very, very curious. I had a weekend to myself. I'm like, fuck it. You know, this guy's crazy. Let's see what he's up to. He says crazy shit. Yeah, you know, I have a little money to blow. I'm like, why not? Yeah. The copywriting was pretty good. It wasn't.
I've had people from the course like send me the email like trying to copyright for me. I did actually pay one guy a couple $100s, but he wasn't that good.
What,
Dude,
from
my
Hustlers
email is
University?
filled.
Yeah.
My email is filled with
found that out
people
later.
saying, "Hey, bro, I wrote out an email sequence for you. You want me to send it over?" Like literally,
dude,
just copy and
That's
paste
all from
it.
him.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's getting more popular.
5 times a
from his
day.
I get
course.
that a lot too.
Yeah.
5 times. Oh, I thought I was the only one. You guys
annoying.
get that shit too?
I get that a lot.
Realistically, right? Realistically, you're broke. You're not a very valuable person. As let's say, like me, if I wasn't in college and wasn't learning and didn't have skills that I can actually, monetize. Like you're not worth very much. There isn't much that you could do besides either get a 9 to 5 or just start hustling. Just start like emailing thousands of people, DMing thousands of people on Instagram. There really aren't many alternatives to that. And
It can work. The question is if the course is good or not.
Yeah. So I think that whether or not the course is adequate, I'd say it's adequate. But I'd say a lot of the people that join aren't the smartest people, and so it like comes across as not the best course. But it isn't the best course, but it comes off as pretty bad, and it comes off as an MLM because of the dominance of the and publicity involved in the affiliate marketing. But there's
a lot of them come from Fresh and Fit, and I'm sure the average IQ of their viewers is not
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah. Oh,
so
no,
I
it's
think
not.
that kind of
It's
like
not.
it changes the statistics there.
It's
Got to keep
not.
that in
Wait,
mind.
Yeah,
Why
you
is-
could
why
absolutely
is that,
become a
AJ?
copywriter, even though you don't know how to read and
And you
write.
don't need to pay Tate
mindset.
$50, but you don't need to pay Tate any of the skills that you learn on HE. You can learn anywhere else. But it's just like anything else in life, where you're paying for organization, you're paying for simplicity, you're
I think
paying
it's
for
often
clarity.
a good idea.
Yeah, look.
Do you think it's worth it or no? What's your
Do
position?
I personally think it's worth it? I mean, it depends on your situation, right? Do you have a lot of time to go, searching the depths of the internet for actual good information that you can apply and that will work? Like at least in HU, you're seeing wins that actually happen. Like I became friends with some of the people there because I do calisthenics. If you look here, that's my setup.
All right.
Calisthenics dude. And so I found one of the guys who does calisthenics, and he actually uses copywriting to sell his programs out of like some random country in the East. And so it's not like it doesn't work. You could definitely make it. If you have the information from HU and you apply it well and you're not an idiot, you will make some money, right? Given time, given effort, you will make some money. You need to understand that like of the people that sign up, how many actually have what it takes to follow through and learn a skill from zero? It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's there. It's all there.
Okay, so the value is there. You're just saying that not.
Yeah, hundreds of people have made money all the time, and there really are kids making thousands of dollars a month. Like that's not fake. They're actually there.
The question is the percentage,
Yeah, if there's
Like,
100
is it
Yeah,
10% or is it
let-
like
let me-
20%?
Okay, but
Yo,
name
let
a
me- let
field
me cut
where,
in
like,
here.
you're guaranteed.
There's a literal rule with courses. It's from Dan Kennedy. Everyone knows Dan Kennedy, right? The founder of or the modern marketing online, whatever. So he says it doesn't matter how good your course is. There's a law of the universe with personal development courses in general. 80% of customers will get basically no results from it because they don't even take any fucking action. 15% will get okay results. And then 5% that really dedicate themselves and go above and beyond are going to get amazing results. Right. So it's probably
I
like
think
that
the first part's
80,
100%
15, 5.
true. Like, I think that first part's true, but the quality of the course is going to change the last two numbers. Like, if it's a shit course, then no one's going to get that good of results. So
Yes.
it's a cold approach
Yes.
thing, and it doesn't tell you like to actually go out and approach, which a lot of them don't. It's not going to help you.
But I think what
And
Eli.
sorry.
I think what Eli's saying is the course is good. It's just kind of hard, and a lot of people are going to take the initiative to apply it. Which I would.
Anything.
The same thing for my course, probably.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
not
one of the things
his
that
fault.
makes no, Alex, I disagree with you because I think your course is easy, which is why it's valuable. The whole point of a course is to make difficult things in an easy, digestible manner for people to follow, right?
Yeah.
So if it's so tough for people to even start from the first place, what ends up happening, it gets kind of sus because it's like, okay, well, you're just marketing toward people that this isn't for. If you're saying everybody can do it, and then a lot of people can't do it, well, then there's something to think about for that, So, but I will say one thing too is like I'm sure all of us have had clients like this where we'd like to give ourselves credit for their success, but there's some clients that I've had that they're just like all stars from day one. Like they're just like have that super like Chad mentality.
They would get results whether or not you existed, pretty much, right? They would just find a way, even if there was no courses out there, they would scrape and claw to get there.
Yeah, that's how I was. So it took me a long ass time though.
Yeah. So that's one thing you have to consider is like just by sheer volume. Yeah, because a lot of people be like, oh, well, this person has a bunch of testimonials and stuff on his page. Sure, that's fine and all. But what if you found out that he had 100 testimonials, but he's had 1 million clients? That means that the success rate is like the success rate is lower than the rate of people who would have just succeeded without his help in the first place, which actually means that they actively makes people worse. So again, it's tough and everything, but look, when you're the consumer, to come to Tate's defense, when you're the consumer, you have money to buy something, even if it's your mom's credit card, you're the one making the decision, right? And he actually did make a good point, is he said, well, we have 100,000 like active members. So if it was a giant scam and that was it, then I'm pretty sure most of those people would have left, right? So,
well, there's a churn question though. The question is the churn, right? Because how long are the months? Like how many months have they been there, right? And he's getting a lot more new members than people can leave because he's blowing up so rapidly. So I don't know if that means what it would seem like it means.
That's just a marketing tactic. That's not a reliable number that you can use to actually extrapolate any kind of data about how good the program is. That there's no way that
let me ask you a question. Is there what I heard from someone is there's like a big push to upsell to the other thing that Tate has that costs like thousands of dollars?
The War Room.
Oh yes, the War Room.
Is that true?
Yes, of course. That's the main idea. It's like, make your money, become a millionaire, blah 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 blah. And then once you're rich and it's our fault, then you could join our War Room, and our War Room is where we do cool shit. And based on the videos that I've seen, they actually do low-key do cool shit. Like I've watched a lot because dude, that guy's all over my feed. There's nothing I could do about it. It's polluted. It's over. I'll never get it back. My feed is his, and it's his for the keeping. And so one of the videos I watched and it kind of got me hooked was those Tate confidential videos. I was kind of telling you guys to watch it before. It's literally just him and his brother during COVID doing whatever the fuck they want. And along the way, here and there were a lot of War Room members. And he also mentions how, and I don't think he's lying. It's possible that he could be lying about the fact that the War Room actually helped people escape Ukraine or something like that. Like, I don't think it's a scam. If it's a scam, nobody would be in it. These kinds of things can't last as long as they have. Do I think he was a scammer in the past? Absolutely. But I think that's how he kind of promotes starting up. A lot of his like startup ideas come from selling things that you don't actually have, just overselling yourself obsessively until you get a client, and then you just make it fucking work. Like if you watch some of his videos on sales tactics and starting businesses, what he says is like, create a website before you even have the product. Then you get customers, and then you take their money, and then you get the product, and then you ship it to them. You don't have the product, like that's what he does. You start just bluffing. You show up to
that's like basic operating procedure for e-commerce dropshipping stuff.
Yeah, you come up to an interview pretending like you're the shit, making these huge promises, because you know what? You're going to be infinitely better off making these huge promises and then coming short, but actually getting the job.
Sometimes it goes horribly wrong. Like with the Fire Festival, they had like they sold like these villas and luxury villas, and then they gave people like FEMA tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could see that's kind of how he started himself. Like I could tell you, not everything he's ever done is legitimate. He definitely started off less legitimate, but I'm not saying that Tate's a good guy. I don't think he is. I think that a lot of what he says and does is absurd. But to say that, like, just objectively looking at the fact, HU is not a traditional MLM like that. It's not.
Yeah, so as soon as you said like there's no way a scam can last that long, it's like Birdie made it last for a very long time. But yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Decades.
I'm just saying this specific scam. Like I again that's you're right. I shouldn't have said that
because it's a closed circuit thing. So how would people? I don't know. I don't think it would really.
No,
and a lot of people get self-help stuff. They believe it's good even if they didn't get results because you already invested in it, right? So unless it was so awful that it like offended them and made them dislike him, it wouldn't get that much negative reviews.
Yeah.
But also, just from a practical standpoint, like drop shipping, e-commerce, that type of stuff. Dude, I remember I moved to Thailand, Chiang Mai, back in 2019, and even by then, the gold rush of e-commerce and Amazon and FBA was already over, and so now it's like super over because it's
I have
just
friends
like,
who made money from that a couple years ago.
yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah, but like now it's just like it's so competitive. You have a few guys that are just killing it because they've been there for a while, and then everybody else they just get priced out. So anybody promoting drop shipping now at this point, be very skeptical.
Well, yeah, it's also people who are promoting drop shipping. It's very difficult to start, but it's very difficult to do a lot of things. So let's say you have a lot of money, right? Let's say you have millions of dollars to spare, and you want to get into supplying for Amazon seriously. Like you want to make that a considerable part of your income. So that's okay because you can get into it. You have the money to actually get into it. But to someone with their last $50. You shouldn't start a Shopify store when you have $50 to your name. Like that doesn't make any sense. Just get a 9-to-5 at that point. But again, what do I know? I'm just saying that it's not impossible to do these things. Like these things that people say, oh, it's too saturated. Like I just met with a guy a few days ago who does this Amazon stuff. He's been doing it for a year. I mean, if you consider a year ago to be too saturated, he's doing very well right now. And he's actually he's renting out one of my mom's places. So
basically, the course can work. It's hard. A lot of people probably don't succeed, but it's not bad. Yeah. Generally, with Tate, I would say my opinion about him is his stuff about women and his character is very questionable, and I don't agree with all of it.
Yeah.
But his advice about discipline and like general like mindset stuff, fantastic. Like he has a video that's like mind tricks for beating depression or something like that. I think that video is amazing. So he's got like his mindset about work ethic and stuff, I think is very inspirational and genuinely useful. But the stuff about women, I'm like, he's just trolling, right? But people genuinely think it's serious.
Yeah, that's why I put him at B tier in my tier list, and people were surprised I put him that high because like his when he actually gives serious advice and he's not playing a character, like it's really good. That same exact stream that we were just watching with Hasan and everything. If you watch the entire full stream, at the beginning he's giving both of those guys fantastic advice.
Yeah,
and I think he plays the role of that older brother that a lot of these young kids didn't have, or that strong male role,
especially
model.
In Twitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys are soy boys.
Yeah, exactly. So they need like an overcorrection. They basically need like, Andrew Tate is almost sort of like a soy boy's Tyler Durden. That's literally what he is. He's not as cool as Tyler Durden. Nobody is, but he's equivalent to that, where he's like this very hyperbolic, over masculinized version of masculinity or whatever. And the narrator in Fight Club is so much in the opposite direction. He needed an extreme to use as an example. And I think this guy ends up filling that role. No, I am not talking about RSD Tyler. No. That's how you know that you've been looking too much into like pickup type stuff. I mean, like Tyler Durden is in like Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Okay. I think we should probably move on to something else.
Yeah.
Well, we could focus on the topic of women and his beliefs surrounding women, because this actually ties back to what he said about empirical data and like lived experience. Because in my life, I'm a religious Jew, right? Religious Jewish women are very, very, very like drastically different from the types of women that Andrew interacts with on a daily basis, and the types of women that normal people who don't live in a very tightly knit community interact with on a daily basis. So these generalizations that he's making about everything, like everything at all, and he does not like getting into specifics, which is something that I dislike about him, because as a philosophy student, sometimes I take hundreds and hundreds.
People roll their eyes though. You look like a science bitch when you start talking about all the little nuances. It's
important. It's if you really want to get somewhere, that's what you got to do. But if you want to just have a fun conversation, or because let's be honest, Hasan
he's a
was
marketer.
There for the clips. Yeah, Hasan was there for the clips, and Andrew's just trying to get people hooked. You don't get people hooked by saying, "Oh, and in this specific scenario, and when I say belief, I mean this, and I don't mean that." That doesn't work. So you need to consider Andrew's point of view. Obviously, I'm not saying that everything he says is right. It's just that our worlds are extremely different, and I had to recognize that very early on. Like a woman in my community, I know maybe 3 people ever who would even consider cheating. Like that's not a thing where I live at all.
So you're not in America?
No, I'm in America. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew, Syrian Jew. Everybody here that I know in my community, it's a very big, relatively wealthy community. Nobody would even consider cheating ever.
Well, yeah,
Doesn't
women
happen.
don't usually go around saying that they're considering cheating.
Yeah, and I mean these the women here don't dress like they don't.
Well, you're not. You didn't get the point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will say though, there is something to that. Like these very religious communities, a lot of guys, if you're outside of it, you'd be like, "Oh, sure, there's no cheating." But like, I'm familiar with a few of them. I'm quite sure there's really not that much cheating because a lot of them don't even like have sex before marriage. You know,
Yeah,
and so
it's very different.
so,
It's a drastically different world. And so when Andrew says, "Oh, women are dumb, women are this, women are that," he's really just talking about the women in his life. When he's saying all women
Exactly.
suck at driving, he's talking about, oh, when I cruise around in Romania in my Bugatti or whatever, and you know, like the women there, whatever. Maybe there's something about the women there. Like, here, I'm gonna give you an example. So Hassan's statistic of which I don't know where he pulled it from. He could have easily pulled it from anywhere. As everybody knows, you could get statistics for both sides very easily, and that's why you kind of have to like use a lot of personal experience to cover the ground that statistical evidence doesn't cover. So in the world, right, the national income is very different from the income in specific places. Just like women's skill in driving could be different in certain places, just like beliefs could be drastically different in certain places. Andrew's talking in his experience. He's traveled to a bunch of like extremely exotic countries doing exotic things. If you watch Tate Confidential, he just does crazy shit all the time. That's very different from someone in America going to their local McDonald's every day back and forth. And also, we don't even know what he meant but when he said better drivers. Did he mean safer drivers? Does he even care about safety, or is he talking about skill? Who could do better U-turns? Who could do better whatever? You know, like there were no parameters set there. And so they're basically arguing over nothing. And so they spent half the time just arguing over different, they could be agreeing entirely and they're just saying the same thing in different contexts. It was ridiculous. Like that's why if you're going to have a 3-hour debate or a 5-hour debate, spend the first half hour setting out some parameters, do your research before. If Hasan really cared and didn't want to just clip farm and put everything on YouTube like he did, if you look at his YouTube, he just has like 20 Andrew Tate videos.
I think you're going on a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta.
Well, no, but you're
tighten it up.
totally right though. Basically, yeah, like that's the whole thing. There's a difference between like real debate, which, you know, if you're a philosophy major, you understand is like, you know,
nerd debate.
It's going to be the nerd debates,
Virgins debating.
You could call it that.
To feel like they matter, you know, to feel like they're cool.
But when you do that, you actually do get closer to the truth. But when it comes to online debating, that's a way different story, you know. So it's kind of like people like myself and Alex, I would like to think that we're more trying to seek the truth, but also you have to understand that a lot of people tune into the debate because they want to see blood. Right?
Yeah.
They want to see.
Yeah. I want to see.
They want to see like,
I just want to see someone. It's crazy because people on both sides like really are fully convinced that a certain person won, and I'm convinced that neither one.
I don't know if anybody can be convinced that Tate won, bro.
Many of his fans. Many of his fans.
I think it's a clear victory for Hasan. Like no doubt.
I could see like Tate fans being like, "Oh, well, you know, Tate was trolling the whole time." Like,
no.
I mean.
Tate looked bad in that debate. He
did. He looked worse than usual for sure. And it's also important to consider the circumstance. I think by him it was like 6 a.m. He joins a group with a bunch of Fortnite kids. I happen to be a Fortnite player, so I actually know Clicks. Like I know of Clicks, and I was like a fan or whatever. Like he's good at the game, but he was he had no idea that Hasan would join. Hasan is just like in his Twitch chat being like, watch, I'm gonna destroy this guy, and then I'll post it all over YouTube, and I'll get millions of views. Like Tate just wants him out of there. There is no scenario in the world in which Hasan viewers think, in which every Hasan viewer thinks Hasan loses, and there's no scenario in the world in which Hasan doesn't gain millions of views from debating Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate knows that's going to happen. He just wants him out. He just wants to have fun. So I think that's also important.
I don't know, dude. I was generally on Tate's side. I wanted Tate to win. I want to see Hasan get.
I did too.
I just didn't want
dislike
Hasan
Hasan strongly.
I want to get his first kiss personally.
Elko, thank you for coming on. I think we're going to answer some questions in the chat.
Yeah, no problem. All right. See you guys.
Thanks for coming on, Elko.
See you.
Yeah. That was interesting.
It was
somebody who was like, yeah. It's somebody who was like kind of, it was a good perspective to have because there's somebody who liked Andrew Tate enough to invest in the Hustlers University, understand that it could be useful for some people, but then for him it wasn't, so he left. So
we're not even Tate haters. So like some people are just so intellectually incompetent that they think if you criticize someone, you must hate them.
No, it's because they're sheep. They're sheep. Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that's what being a sheep is.
Yeah, you are a sheep, Santa Cruz. You are.
Should we bring on this Brad guy who's backstage?
So Santa Cruz.
What did he want to?
He said,
Who do you think Tate would respect more, you or us? I guarantee you he'd respect us more for actually like having our own opinions and thoughts. See, here's the thing. The sheep herder secretly doesn't really actually care about the sheep that much. He likes that the sheep worship him, but he doesn't actually think the sheep are like that valuable.
He would never have them in his inner circle, right? They'd never be close friends with him.
Exactly. It's the same types of people who like simp for their communist dictator, thinking that their communist dictator cares for the people. It's like, no, if you buy into that, you have a room temperature IQ. All right.
So what did Brad want to talk about?
I don't know. He said that he's pro Tate and he wants to bring up like how he helps men, I don't know, become better with women or something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
Why not?
We can bring him off for like a few minutes just because he's been waiting backstage. Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Oh, this Brad. The Brad.
This Brad. I know
everywhere
this Brad.
in the
I'll be right back. I'll still be listening.
Yeah, I just want to come on and like shoot the shit for a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, I'm pro Andrew Tate. I just kind of caught the middle of the stream, so I caught a little bit of the debate. I don't know. The other guy, I never heard of him, but yeah, doesn't seem on Tate's level. So
the other guy,
point you wanted to argue, or
the guy wasn't attacking Tate. He was largely taking Tate's side.
Oh, I thought they were having a debate.
No, the other guy that was on, he was. Oh, you're talking about Hasan. Oh, I thought you were talking about
the Hasan guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hasan. I mean, yeah, I think Hasan was a loser, but he definitely destroyed Tate in that debate.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the debate, but if you're talking just on a technical, intellectual level, then I suppose you could have destroyed him. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're still. Who's going to really look up to that guy more than Andrew Tate? Like I'll concede maybe he won the debate, but it's like at the end of the day, does anybody really even care? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we're talking about it, so I guess we all kind of care, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to break.
Care about them views. Care about them.
Yeah. No. I didn't mean it like that. Like, it's interesting to break it down because I do look at debate as like a verbal chess match or a verbal mixed martial arts match. So it's interesting from that perspective. But I mean, if this like Hasan guy is like, you know, has some ego now, like, oh, I beat Andrew Tate in the debate. It's like, oh, okay.
I think we've talked about that debate already pretty much enough, you know? Like, we should probably change topics from that debate to anything else.
Wasn't Tate a chess grand champion, though? If debate is
he's not
chess, then
he's like 1800 rated, which is good.
I think
like
they're
expert level.
All right, nerd. How do you know these numbers,
I used to be
nerd?
1750. You can start being like a semi-pro at something like 1850. So he was like semi-pro level.
Team.
Yeah, I was captain of the chess team. I was. It did not get me any pussy. I was disappointed.
Why not? Chess pussy's the best pussy. Come on, man.
What is Austen doing right now?
I mean, he's tuned out because we're still talking about the debate.
So
that's what I'm guessing.
Well,
are we talking about anything that's relevant to anyone's life at this point, or no?
No, I'm on that same team. Like, we should answer game questions or something.
We can get back to that.
Just getting to hear our voices, isn't that value enough? Just getting to hear us talk should be value enough.
Doing our Andrew Tate impressions.
Being blessed.
What should we talk about then? Like, if we're going to go back to value, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I just
when you know everything, you're going to be a know-it-all.
No, I mean,
we should talk about my new free book that came out today. Shameless plug, but go download it. I had a video about it. It's good, and it's free. So go do it.
All right, you got to watch Andrew Tate's sales pitches because
that wasn't very good.
It's good. Buy it or get it. It's free. It's good. There you go.
Well, maybe that was my technique, was to make it just bad enough of a pitch that you pointed out, and now we're talking about it more.
There we go. Now we get into it. So it's some 5-head shit. What's the book about? Hey, Russell Brand's watching.
So it is about online dating, but it's more from a looks maxing standpoint. So it's more about just not fucking up, really. But that's really the main thing. You know, like when we were rating guys' profiles before altogether, like so many people were just making so many fucking mistakes. But there's like little shit that you can do too. Like I show you how to like bite your cheeks in a certain way to hollow out your face, have the right lighting, all that stuff. It's pretty basic stuff, but I don't know.
Do you talk about how to have no receipts? Is that covered in the book?
Yeah, exactly. I literally, the entire book is just 0 receipts the whole time. Or it's my grand thesis as to why I say receipts don't matter. The less receipts you have, the more likely that the more game you probably have. That's the whole entire purpose of the book. And you'll find out. I make a convincing case for it. You'll find that out, and you'll be convinced if you go download it.
I'll have to check it out. Well, should we just do like I don't know, half an hour of Q&A or something? Just take people's questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we have to all do it in Andrew Tate impressions.
Yes, I'm down.
I'm actually down for that. I'm a top G. I'm gonna try. I'm
a top G.
Top G. Sons. Yeah.
The reason that I drink Blue Moon is I don't even know. He probably wouldn't like
that. Was
Blue
too
Moon.
posh. That accent was too posh. You got a grad accent.
A little bit too high class.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some questions in. How to direct groups of girls during night game. This isn't my specialty.
I think it's funny he's asking, like, why does it have to be direct specifically?
Well, I think you meant direct open. Okay, groups of girls during night game.
I probably wouldn't go super direct with a group of girls. I think I would just go up and introduce myself. Probably wouldn't be like, hey, I think you're cute. Because then her friends could be like, oh, she's good. We're having a girls' night. So if it's a group, I probably would not want to go like too direct, in my opinion. What do you think, Austen?
What was the question?
It's actually about pickup.
I was too busy arguing with people. This guy said that Tesla doesn't get you laid. It's an electric powered dildo, LMAO. And then I can't, dude. Why is it so hard to share things on the screen? Why is the software suck so bad? Why can't I show a fucking slide or something?
You can.
I would do something pretty general, being like, hey, whose birthday is it? I know that's cringe, but it's like something that engages the whole group, you know?
Okay, hold on.
If they look like they're like dressed for a birthday party, sure. I probably wouldn't do
No,
that.
it doesn't matter. Even if they're don't, that's the point. If
The
anything,
thing
that
is,
makes it better. They'd be like, what the fuck?
The thing is that girls are like really good at like tooling on guys who they perceive as trying to run game on them or do pickup. So that's why I like.
Oh, of course. That's why I don't teach any like outer game stuff. I don't think that it necessarily. I think a lot of times it works, despite the fact that somebody's using it. Not because
I'll share with you guys the best opener for my game. It's good.
Car brands most likely to boost your online dating match. They just did an experiment. They had like a guy and just posed by different cars. And
this is actually
number one
fascinating.
car was Tesla.
Number one is Tesla.
Again, they didn't have a Bugatti, but yeah.
Because it means you're wealthy and it also means you're
earlier,
saving the earth. It's SJW friendly.
The other thing I was going to share earlier that was he was talking about the dog breeds. I thought this was interesting. They have pit bulls like standards of deviation like
Huskies are the nicest dogs ever. German Shepherds.
Alex, facts don't care about your feelings, bro.
Dude, it's over for Tesla cells.
Dude, fucking
it's over for Tesla cells, bro.
This is nonsense. Huskies are so fucking friendly.
There you go, Austen.
All right, because your husky is nice and friendly, that means that on net all huskies are friendly. I've
met hundreds of huskies. I've never once met an aggressive husky. They're a very mild-mannered breed.
So what you're saying is there is a discrepancy between empirical evidence and then your personal experience. Alex, would you say the Earth is round or flat?
The Earth is clearly flat, dude.
Okay.
Oh, so I was going to share.
You can't prove to me that it isn't flat.
I was going to share the opener for night game. So what I do is I just go up to a group of girls, right? Or go up to a girl and I just look at her and say, hi, I'm Alex. And just introduce myself. That's it. Simplest opener ever.
I talked about this in a previous stream. I don't think that that's bad by any means, but like for me, I try to not tell them my name because then if they're interested in me in any way, they will ask for mine. But then a lot of times I think, at least in my experience, if they don't ask for your name, usually there's a strong correlation between that and their interest in you. So
You're
I
sounding kind of
use
like
that as
Todd V
sort of
there.
No, I just think it's
But
practice.
chessboard
No, but it
I must do
literally
the
is
en
building.
passant counter.
No, literally is building some sort of investment. Like I learned this from sales. Like when
this is an interesting thing.
When you
know, like,
say somebody's name, they're more likely to be compliant to you, and also people are going to, if they're interested in you, they're going to want to know your name.
No cap.
I'm just going to say that. Yeah,
facts, dude. So like part of like that hyper masculine, like fucking all I do is smoke cigars and drink whiskey because I'm a fucking accomplished man, dude. As you're drinking beer right now, the most estrogenic compound ever discovered in nature is this substance H8 blah, 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 whatever. It's found in hops. So IPA beer is the most estrogenic thing you could ever put into your body. And like the fact that people are like, you're not real, man, if you don't drink. It's like literally everything.
Here's the problem. I am so
Slave-minded.
masculine.
Totally
I have so
slave-minded.
much toxic masculinity flowing through my veins that I need to be able to bring down my testosterone levels, increase my estrogen levels in order for me to be relatable to the common man.
It's true.
Because otherwise they couldn't handle you.
Otherwise, they couldn't handle me. That's the only way. I need to make sure that I actively inject. Most guys, they try to inject testosterone to be more manly. I have to inject estrogen in order for me to be relatable to you.
To not be too
you
mad.
peons.
You know how people also say like you get health benefits from like wine and blah, blah, blah. Like there are no health benefits from this like review. Nate, you had the review, right? It was like under the age of like 45 or 50, there's literally zero benefits to drinking alcohol.
The benefit is that it makes me feel good. That's the
Everyone's
benefit.
got their own vices. As long as people are aware of like what they're doing, you could fucking inject heroin into your eyeball. I don't give a fuck, right?
Well, it's like most things. It's moderation, right? It's like when people say sugar is bad. Sugar can't be bad because it's a monosaccharide, aka glucose, which is the base thing that your body runs off of. But if you have too much sugar, yeah, that's awful for you.
Honey and fruit
beer is
are
the
the
same way.
ways to get it.
I've quit drinking the last couple weeks, and like my level of energy and just being smarter, like I've lost like 7 pounds. Like the benefits are very, very noticeable.
Yeah, your face looks less chunky.
Yeah, just from like a week of that. So alcohol, like it's something that if you're someone who is very well in control of it, you have 2 drinks once every week or so, fine. But if it's something that becomes a habit, it's really bad.
I think also too, because especially in the pickup world or whatever, I think a lot of pickup guys probably rely on it a little bit too much. Like I remember for me, when I was back in Vegas, I purposely made sure to have 0 drinks while I did all my approaches
Which is smart.
Because all the approaches I did in the past, I had a lot of success, but also like I don't even remember half of it because I was like pissed.
You don't
drunk.
even enjoy it, right? You could pull a model. I've pulled models, literal fashion models, while I was kind of drunk. I don't even really remember it. I didn't really enjoy
have
it.
like whiskey dick, and it's just like awkward and weird.
I actually have one.
Where's the infield and where's the OnlyFans?
I do have
Link
one
us now, or you're exposed as a fraud right now.
All right, it's in my course though, so you're gonna have to buy the course. But it's
okay. Yeah, how much is the course? Is it 10K?
200.
All right, 200K. Okay, I can only wire that. Do what you give me your bank info. Put your bank info on the screen.
Yeah, it's brokey money. That's easy.
You should be able to You should be able to afford it unless you're brokey.
200M or no?
It's looking more like James Deanish. Okay, I'll take. Usually they're saying I look like some fat dude. Like I look up the name, and that's when I knew I got to quit the drinking.
James Dean. That's a good.
That's a good one. That's one you want to hear.
Yeah, legend.
Are you talking about the porn star or the musician?
He was not a musician. He was an actor.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All right, I just posted the link to this in the.
He's the original Giga Chad.
AweSummers.com/immersion.
There's also a porn star named James Dean who is known for doing very dominant sex scenes.
Dude, every girl wanted to fuck him until he had some like media scandal.
Yeah.
What media scandal?
It's like some rape type of accusations.
Yeah, not a big deal. Whatever. I hate when that happens.
Water under
Actually-
the bridge, as they say.
I actually invited him on my podcast. He emailed me back, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I appreciate the invite, but I just want to be able to go to the grocery store with without a bunch of fanboys running up to me saying, 'Yo, it's James Dean.'" He's like, "I'm tired of being recognized. I just want to live a normal life."
Dude, the funniest thing that was
It's too
said on this
cool.
podcast was Kevin said, "You don't need to learn how to. You don't need to know how to read or write to become a copywriter. It's just about your mindset."
It's true. It's all in the mind. Language is a man-made construct.
Damn, dude.
Well, it could be Fat Brando though. He could be saying Fat
Marlon
Brando. So
Brando
Brando
looking
when he
ass.
got fat.
Yeah, is it Marlon Brando in The Godfather?
Night
Or-
game. So in my course, after you buy AG's course, you want to swing by my course after you download everyone else's PDFs and courses out there. In my course, I break it down through the desensitization plan. Dude, I've repeated this so many times. Basically, you're just going to start from the easiest form of the habit, going out. Then you're going to start doing some compliments. Then you're going to start doing some approaches where you leave after the approach. Then you're going to start doing approaches where you're persisting. So they're persistence approaches. And then you just stay longer and longer down the whole fucking night game flow chart. Which I can
So
bring
funny
up
enough,
if you
that's
guys see.
pretty much exactly the same system I use, which says there might be something to it. It's very basic, and it's a lot
Are
of
you
people.
saying
The
there's some
problem is-
credence to these ideas? Only
there
because
might be
they
some
agree with
credence
your
to these
ideas?
ideas for once he's right. Yeah.
Fuck.
Like a lot of people, they expect themselves like, I'm going to pull the first night I go out. I'm going to approach 20 bitches, even though I've never done in your life. And you gotta give yourself small wins. Even going out is a fucking win if you haven't done it. Like you're being less of a pussy by the fact that you left the house and went to a club at all. Even if you don't even do an approach, that's still better than nothing. And you have to like be able to see that as a win and see that as progress. Whereas most people see everything as failure unless they fuck a super hot chick.
How do y'all maintain your test for levels? Through injections. For me.
Check out my testosterone video. It's actually doing really well. I put it out like a week ago on my channel, 2 weeks ago. The biggest things for testosterone is your body fat percentage, how the quality of your sleep, and also the synthetic chemicals that you're putting into your body through plastics, phthalates, using what is it called? Non-stick pans. There's a ton of chemicals I went over. Why you should
And
avoid them,
remember,
how to
kids,
avoid
the
them.
more alcohol that you drink, the higher your testosterone is going to be. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Because I have my truth and you guys have your truth. But my truth is
so
that it
basically, night
increases
game,
my
you're going to warm up.
testosterone.
Before you go out, you're going to meditate. Why are you going to do that? Presence, connection, relaxation, confidence. Go to the night game venue, do the vocal warm-ups, the verbal warm-ups, the social warm-ups. You got to do opens, transition. Then you hit the main part of the interaction. You're vibing, sexualizing, leading, and building comfort. Then you're going to screen. And from that, you decide whether you're going to get a number. So you seed for a date, number close, texter, date, follow Alex's text game shit, seed the pull when you're on the date, pull, close, retention, girlfriend, fuck buddy, ready field report. If you do want to pull, then you have to basically, screen for down to fuck level, emotional availability, good logistics, a girl that's not too crazy. Dude, I went through and I found examples for all these because we're literally editing this video right now. It's fucking, I could pull it up actually if you want me to. But seed the pull, lead the pull.
Yeah, dude, I'll be. I think I'll be down to look at that video.
Okay, that's like fucking these Irish chicks just like fucking making a mess in my house. Wait. Yes. Okay, I have it. I do have it.
What are these warm-ups?
What do you think of
The warm-ups? They're for your voice, your verbal skills, and then your social skills. So you gradually, any part of your brain takes 5 to 10 minutes to warm up. So simply by doing the exercises, you get into like a fun, carefree state where you're joking around with your friends or your wingmen, and then it's really easy to transition from that to just approaching.
Can you share what these exercises are?
Yeah, hold on.
Or is it like a
Is there like a what?
No.
Or is it like
you
a
can't give away
secret?
your secret sauce for free, bro. Did you learn nothing from Tate?
As they say, give away the secrets, sell the implementation. Okay.
I agree with that. That's how you should do it.
Share screen.
Never hold back information,
That's
but
the most exciting. It's
charge for your.
Dude, one of the
personal-
windows I can select is literally called anal. I just released an anal video.
It's not surprising. Very in character.
What are you trying to say?
We're saying
Oh, you
that
can say it.
love
You don't
eating-
have to.
If you
you
love
You have a
eating
reputation.
ass,
You have a
like-
reputation.
HasanAbi
What do you
me.
mean?
Okay, warm up. So yeah, before going out, I actually advocate meditation simply because it has so many benefits to the
Mostly,
game.
yes.
Allows you to be more verbally fluid. You're more confident. You're more relaxed. You're able to connect with people better, be more present. All those things help you in game because most people are stuck in their head thinking about, oh, fuck, this could go wrong, as opposed to just fucking being in the moment and doing it. Vocal warm-ups. So you do the high to low, the tongue between the teeth hiss, and speaking loudly. I don't want to go through and do all of those, but verbal, I'm gonna sell the implementation. So buy the course in 4 to 7 months. Verbal warm-ups, one at a time. So we do one word in a row to create a sentence. So like, I am going to like that. And then people start going sentences back and forth. The grass is green thing, grass is green. Green is the color of weed. Weeds grow in my yard.
Free association.
Yardbirds were a good old rock band. Bands and make her dance. So you just kind of like go into improv based on those words. I like the yes ands for story improv. So like, actually, we could do this right now. I'll start and then it'll go Kevin and then AG and then Alex. So once upon a time, there was a little baby dinosaur. And then Kevin, you start with yes and.
What? Yes and? Why do
And
I
then
have to say
continue the
yes?
story.
Yes, and the little baby dinosaur, although it was a baby, had a very, very much non-baby schlong. And the baby dinosaur schlong was very scary. It scared the entire village. But people knew deep down that he had a gift. Okay, go.
Yes, and it terrified the village and everyone thought it was a threat. But one man, Austen Summers, knew a certain technique that was able to defeat the dinosaur.
Yes, and Austin whipped out his massive dildo and chased the big bad dinosaur away.
I was thinking ass eating, but that works too.
I thought he was gonna go to ass eating.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Austin ate the dinosaur's ass, and the dinosaur left.
Yeah.
Calm down. I was satisfied.
I have like dozens of these type of exercises, but the two I have, this one I actually got from Todd. I know, cringe, but sex with me is like blank because blank. So you basically say sex with me is like noun because
Good point.
adjective. Sex with me is like the stream long. So basically you fuck around with that.
Sex
then you do
with
social
me,
warm up, so compliments.
Never mind.
And then 5 warm up opens. So you do the open, but you don't need to stay. So you just basically tell yourself like, just fucking do the open. And if you do want to stay, that's fine. Right. So you give yourself just enough pressure. So you're doing that and you gradually warm up. Yeah.
I like that.
Anyway. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yes, and Austin taught the baby dinosaur how to play Austin.
That's good because I think a lot of this stuff, it's like,
Okay.
you talk about outer game, inner game. Like for me, it's just like, who has the most fucking balls, but also you just need to learn to talk. If you can learn to talk, then doing exercises like that, right, where you can just think on the fly and do that type of stuff, it's going to do wonders for you. You just need to also have the testicular fortitude to ask for what you want, which is, be forwarding your
so
attention.
I don't compare yourself to someone who is at like a elite level in something, or literally just the 5th stage of game, which is naturalization. I don't have to warm up anymore. Like when I just see a girl at fucking Chipotle, I just go take a deep breath and toss myself in, right? And I'll just go say hi, and I'll whatever open that comes to me in the moment, right? But don't compare yourself to someone that's at a different phase in your journey. We're all on what's it called? At the end of the day, the journey is long, and at the end of the day, it's only with yourself, right? So,
what was that other motivational quote? Don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 20 or something like that.
Compare yourself today to yourself from yesterday.
Yeah.
So, Eric, do you go out and do you do approaches? Because that's the single most important thing. And if you're not doing that, that's the problem. Yeah. Do you even game, bro? And most people don't. And if you don't, that's what you should be doing.
Let's
it doesn't need to be complicated.
This guy sent us. This is the guy that was on our stream earlier. Can you all rate me and tell me where I can improve? I would say that this guy
improve at what?
I think he's just talking about like physically or in terms of his presence. I just think he has like kind of a baby face, so he should put on more muscle and maybe grow out some facial.
Well, I couldn't really tell his physique, but it's great that he does calisthenics. But keep in mind, with calisthenics, it's hard to.
It's not going to make you jack though.
It can, but it's not as predictable in terms of getting you jacked as it is with weights. So, for example, you want to be working basically all different rep ranges in order for you to be able to build muscle. And you get strong enough with body weight exercises, you have to do like all high rep stuff. Even if there's progressions on the difficulties of exercises, a lot of times the tension isn't strong enough. So the biggest determiner of muscle building is something called mechanical tension, which is literally just the amount of force that your muscles have to produce to move weights, right? So in a way, there actually is a direct correlation between the amount of muscle you have and the amount of weight that you lift, form being completely consistent. And so it's kind of tough for you to do that with calisthenics. That said, some people can still get super jacked doing calisthenics, don't get me wrong. But we only saw you neck up, so it's possible you have like a built body we just didn't see.
Show us waist down.
Skinny neck. Yeah. You just need to start doing dick lengthening exercises, bro. That's what everybody needs to work on. But you could practically start doing like neck exercises maybe too. And if you're a young guy, you're in college, you know, like, yeah, you're at the age where you want to try to make yourself look a bit older by any means possible. If that means growing out facial hair, if you're able to do that. But the best way for you to look older when you are young is to be jacked.
I honestly don't understand the appeal of calisthenics. I mean, maybe for fun, but like, why not go to the gym and like actually lift like fucking heavy weights? I don't know. What's the appeal of calisthenics? You get to save $30 on gym membership. Like, it's not that funny. Like, well, like,
I mean, he is a Jew, so maybe that's why.
Well, like, why not like lift like weights?
Sorry,
I don't understand. Another thing I was thinking about, like when he was saying that I'm actually somewhat familiar with the Hasidic Jew community. I used to live in Jersey. I've like hung out in Brooklyn where he lives.
You're half Jew yourself.
Yeah, I am, but I'm not like religious at all. But yeah, so like they're like very serious about it. Like they walk around with the funny hats and they're very like, but I'm just imagining him pulling a chick to like that community. Like it's going to be for any non-Hasidic Jewish chick, it's going to be such a culture shock. And a Hasidic Jewish chick is not going to fuck you before marriage anyway. So it's like the worst of all worlds. So there's no way he can keep living there and like get results with women. That's the thing.
Well, he said he's in college.
I asked
right
my
now,
assistant.
So
he says he does calisthenics. He does calisthenics because it's more fun, and he's training for American Ninja Warrior.
Aida.
Yeah. So there's practical things with calisthenics for sure. But yeah, in terms of you looking as jacked as possible, probably not. It's probably not gonna. Like, you probably won't get any bigger than like 15-inch arms, you know? And I think most guys, for you to start looking like pretty jacked, you need like 15-inch arms and above as a natural.
Someone said this.
15 inches lean, not fat seps.
Alex's advice is the same for everyone. Gain some muscle and grow facial hair. Probably true, but that's, I think, because pretty much most people that ask me for advice could benefit from gaining muscle and growing facial hair. I just think
the vast majority of guys are not that muscular, you know, like look, here's one thing. There's some guys who are so charismatic, who have so much game that they really don't need to be that fully look smacked and they'll do okay. That's not the majority of guys. For a lot of guys, you know, and a lot of your social skills and your social intelligence and stuff is genetic. Of course, a lot of it you can definitely work on for sure. But one thing that's most definitely in your control is getting jacked. And from a mindset standpoint too, I've done this before as a dickhead in the past. But like, if I see some scrawny looking dude and some good looking girl is interested in him, and I see that in a bar, I'm going to go over and talk to that girl. Because in my mind, I'm basically saying, oh, if this girl likes that little dweeb over there, she's going to love me. And I'm not the only one I don't do that anymore. Right. But I mean, I do sometimes, but like a lot of the guys like the amogging and that type of shit, that's what happens. So it's almost like by you being muscular, knowing that you can handle yourself, that type of stuff doesn't happen as much. And I was talking about this on my stream the other day. When you have approach anxiety with some girl, or you're getting nervous around some girl, you're not thinking, oh, she's so great and everything. You're literally thinking subconsciously, there's some guy out there that is more worthy of fucking her than me. Right? And so if you know that you're like that, you bench more than everybody in the room, you have bigger arms than anybody in the room, you're more jacked, and you feel like an attractive man, you're naturally going to have a little bit more of that swagger, that
for a
confidence.
long time.
Yeah, exactly. If you know that you have a 10-inch dick and nobody else has a dick that's nearly as big as yours. No, but seriously, that's the main thing that I teach. Like the outer game stuff, don't get me wrong, that shit's important. Okay, like don't get me wrong, but I still think
what do you think of
the
AMS?
inner game part's way more important.
I'm actually part of the American Mathematical Society. I really like the programs that they have. The outreach is great. everything's managed really well. No real complaints about it. I would like to see more girls in there, but that's about it.
Do y'all think I should grow out my hair? No.
I don't even remember.
Eli somehow made this entire stream all about him.
That's what he learned from Hustlers University, bro.
Dude, he's hustling us. Fuck.
Learn how to maintain.
That would be my advice to him. It wouldn't be about his physique. It would be social awareness. Because sometimes he took like 3-4 minutes to make a point that he didn't finish and didn't let us interject. And that's like a little bit long. It's very long. And the other thing is he didn't sound very excited by what he's saying, right? When he's talking, he's not like into it. So it makes it less engaging.
I think that's something that a lot of, because he was clearly an intelligent guy, a lot of smart guys kind of
very
struggle with. Yeah. So I think a lot of the smart guys, they have the most things that they struggle with, but if they overcome them, they usually do the best.
Alex, how should I grow my facial hair?
You need to basically get like 20, 50, 100 like tubs of Rogaine. You need to like create a bath and just dip your face in and just marinate it there until like your whole face and cheekbones is just covered in Rogaine.
How many hours should I marinate in it?
I think you should start with two sessions of 30 minutes a day of marination.
Okay.
Hey, you keep talking about test boosting, bro. Where's your facial hair, huh?
Dude,
You know,
I have
facial
1,000
hair higher
tests and I have no
testosterone.
facial hair. The fuck?
You might be part Asian.
You know, you can do
It's almost as if there's more to life than just having high testosterone.
You know, you can do
No.
beard transplants. I've actually met people who've done that. You can take like actual hair from your head and put it on your beard, and actually looks pretty decent.
Yo, Alex, have you had more like when you started taking TRT? Did you get more angry easier or no?
No, I think that's a misconception.
Okay.
I mean, it can happen if you go like really well. I think what having first of all, I think that only happens if your testosterone levels are out of range.
Julian Prime.
If your testosterone is like 3,000, but if it's at like 1,000 or 1,200, that's not going to happen. But also, testosterone is like it amplifies what you already have. So if you're an angry person, it can make you angrier. But I was never like an angry person.
Yeah, man,
like,
you don't need facial hair. I'm top 5. You put me in your top 5 list, and I have no facial hair. I'm breaking the first principle of Alex game.
Yeah, but you were the last 5 on the top 5 list. If you had facial hair.
Damn, son, I barely made the cut. Fuck.
Yeah, but if you grew out facial hair, it could be like number 1.
Wait, you put John Anthony above me?
Well, he has facial hair.
He's 57 years old, dude. He's had like 3 decades more of experience than me.
Yeah, but he's got facial hair.
I can't win with you, Alex.
Just take your pubes, bro. Cut them off, glue them on your fucking face, and then you'll have facial hair.
That is
All right.
solution, but I don't think that's the best.
Let me answer this. Kevin, do you think I should body recomp or just diet? Bench 280, deadlift 400, squat 300, weight 190, 19 to 22% body fat. Definitely diet. Wait, but if your bench is at 280, it's tough for you to do sort of a recomp, and basically, in essence, build muscle and lose fat at the same time. You're probably too advanced for that, to be honest. Your bench is way better than your deadlift and your squat, relatively speaking. But yeah, I would diet. I would diet down to below 15%, and then do like a very slight caloric deficit, and just try to get those squat and deadlift numbers up. Your bench is excellent. 280 is very good.
But also, is he talking about 1 rep max, or is he talking about like 7 reps? Like, well,
no, 1 rep max. Usually, when people just list their numbers out like that, it's their 1 rep max.
The biggest number, yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah. Man, if you can do 280 for reps, that's fucking baller.
Well, yeah. There's a huge difference between a 1 rep max and doing it for like 7 reps. I don't know. I think the 1 rep max stuff is actually kind of dumb. It's like an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah, it is. It is if you're a power lifter. Yeah. So that's why it's better to do more sort of like what you can do for reps. So for example, for me, I used to do bench competitions, but my bench press is actually, I can do more reps at a lighter weight than a lot of power lifters do. So my bench max is 350, but I can bench 315 for like 5 or 6 reps. And usually there's guys who can bench press, who can't bench press 315 for 5 reps that can bench 400. So it like, unless you're competing for powerlifting, it starts to become like super technical. But the biggest thing is you have to keep in mind as you get more and more advanced is making sure you don't get injured. That's the number one thing. To just don't get injured.
Yo, Kevin,
I don't go up.
Can you tell me about my lifts?
6 reps of an exercise confidently with good form.
Is this man, this is small text. Let me see.
Here, I'll make it bigger.
Oh, Mario Tomic, he's good. Yeah. So what's your overall split? Upper body, so it's an upper lower split?
Yeah, he does. It's like a power hypertrophy upper lower type thing. So,
And it looks like it's probably like in an undulating fashion if you're doing strength and hypertrophy days. Is there, it has the numbers there, but is there any sort of like periodization for it? So like, do you try to fit a certain amount of volume in a certain amount of time and then you try to beat that the next time? Because that's usually the sort of progression that you want to have.
To be honest, I don't do any lower body because I do ultimate. So I play ultimate 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm getting like so much lower body that I literally can't do any of that right now.
That sounds like a good excuse to skip leg day, bro.
Well, dude, you should see sprinting for 3 hours. Like
no, I feel you.
like
but look,
leg exercises.
so here's a good example because I used to train like some marathon runners, volleyball players, like a lot of athletes where they were using their legs all the time. You still, what you want to do, this is a little bit different. So do you have an off season with Ultimate Frisbee or no?
Do I have what?
Do you have like an off season or is it always like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So literally, there's 2 different phases of training for athletes. There's GPP, general physical preparedness, and then sports specific preparedness. So any sort of intense things that you do in the gym, especially for your legs, in your case, you want to be doing during the off season. So the majority of athletes, they do that during the off season, and then they just try to maintain what they have during the season. So they might be doing like 2 intense leg days per week during the off season, and then during the actual season itself, they'll just do like 1 sort of moderate leg day.
I could probably fit one right now that you say that. I'll just cut one of the ultimate sessions and then I'll do one.
Well, you definitely want to do something, right?
Dude. Deadlifting and squatting is like the coolest feeling you get in the gym.
Yeah,
it's like,
but it's also the most fatiguing. It's the most systemically fatiguing, especially a deadlift. But they're also the ones that carry over the most. But
it's just the BBC.
Oh no, dude! I fucking hate doing legs. I do it, but it's not my favorite at all. Like it's one of my least favorite. I don't get a good feeling from doing squats.
Are you telling me if you do a deadlift, you pull up like fucking 225, you don't feel like anything from that? You're just like, oh, okay.
I don't do deadlifts because my neck is fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Man, what, bro? I gotta help you with your.
Funny, that's the same excuse you gave for not eating pussy. So. I just feel like you can't go your whole life saying like, "Oh, I didn't do my taxes because I fucking my neck."
My excuse for everything.
Bro, you should do deadlifts, man. Deadlifts are fun. I will say though, when you get more advanced, it depends on your goals, right? So specificity is the most important part. If you are, if you're focusing on bodybuilding, like for me right now, I'm focusing more on that. My background is more traditionally in strength training. I purposely don't do deadlifts because it's so fatiguing for my body that I will get injured somewhere else, and it decreases the amount of volume I can do for other exercises. But for the most part, for most people, you should keep trying to do deadlifts until your deadlift is like 400 something. I know that sounds like a lot of weight because it is, but every man, I think, in their 20s especially, has the capability to build up to a 400-pound deadlift. I really do think that.
Controversial opinion: deadlifts are highly overrated.
You want to debate about that, Alex?
I think deadlifts you get injured from them more than most other exercises.
Well, no, yeah, but that's the issue is it shouldn't happen. So
prolapse rectum.
Well, a deadlift is what you're doing is something called a hip hinge. So a hip hinge is where you load up your hips, more specifically your glutes and your hamstrings, to take pressure off of your back. So if you get injured doing proper deadlifts, actually helps to strengthen your back and that movement pattern to make sure that you don't hurt your back. So people hurt their backs on deadlifts when they're doing them wrong. So if you're actually doing a deadlift correctly, it will decrease your likelihood for back injury. Now they are overrated from a bodybuilding standpoint, just because they're so systemically fatiguing that it takes away from other stuff, so. Yeah, man, if you want to jump high as fuck, well, rule number 1 for jumping super high, don't have calves, right? The better your calves are, the less you can jump. Rule number 2, be black.
Really?
And rule number 3, do deadlifts.
Do people give a shit about jumping high?
Dude, for ultimate, it's super.
That sounds like something what a white guy would say. Cope.
I haven't ever measured my vert, but I have done some very high box jumps, and sometimes when I jump, people go, "Holy fuck!" So I think I have a pretty decent vert, but you can get better at jumping.
Austin, is your vert?
You just have to jump high. You have to like consistently jump high, right?
Is your vertical
jumping and jumping?
Your big dildo?
Yeah, dude.
Can you jump over the dildo?
22 inches.
Can you jump over the dildo?
Dude, I used my giant dildo on a video for this part, and it's fucking hilarious. So,
because if you can't jump over it, you'll fall on it and it'll go straight up your ass. So you gotta be careful.
Yep. You ever see that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
That guy has that jumping path where it's like, okay, never mind.
Little known fact, pro tip here: if you're able to tell a girl you're vertical and then demonstrate to her how high your vertical actually is, you're definitely going to be fucking that night. Let me just put it that way.
Let's bring out the giant dildo.
Oh, yeah.
So
he had it on
that was way too quick.
Yeah, that was
Whoa.
so quick. Wait, who is
that? That was an actual. Oh my gosh!
I thought you were like fucking somehow
demonetized.
I thought for a second you had like a machine or something that was like putting it on the screen.
So if I share a video, will it share the audio automatically?
I think so.
All right, let's try. Let's see.
Oh, no audio.
We can't hear it. We can't hear it. You have to close it out and then reshare it. Make sure that you check the tab that says share audio.
Okay.
It's like a very little thing on like the bottom left.
Okay. I hit share.
Yeah, DHV by vert matching, baby.
I have
I'm
no
gonna head out
button
in a few
or
minutes.
anything. It literally just says mute website notifications while sharing. Okay, anal.
Has
Mute
Austin
website notification while
We're
sharing.
gonna go try to pick up some bitches.
Gay.
Yeah, that is pretty gay. Andrew Tate has a great quote about that.
Epitome
The
of gay.
gayest thing a man can do is be married to one woman, which is pretty accurate.
Austin, have you ever used the dildo?
Yeah, I mean,
Why would he have it?
I'm trying to play the video where I used it, but
Oh,
yeah, here.
there it is.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be on Pornhub.
Yeah, you can't hear it, so I just
Actually, funnier when you can't hear it.
yeah.
That helps.
Basically, the point I was making is like to bring up fucking girl.
Whoa, what is wrong with your mic, bro? Holy shit!
Hey, your audio is
changed.
fucked up.
Literally changed. Literally, was it better now? Is it better now?
What the hell?
Nope.
Wow.
What is happening?
Yeah, you're sort of bugging. Austin's dildo is causing some kind of electrical interference.
Yeah.
It's got like a magnetic field. It's so big.
Hello?
Ah, it's still there, bro.
Yeah.
You got EMP'd or some shit.
Yeah.
Hacked
Is
by the Matrix.
Is there like a nuke in the dildo? This is where
Can
like
I just change to my AirPods?
I mean, it doesn't sound
Yeah,
good.
it's
but-
shitty, but it's okay. We can hear you.
say something.
Hello and welcome. My name is Austen Summers, and I have a 22-inch dildo in my house.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, go back to whatever.
Yeah, something just like fell.
Yeah, I don't know
That
what
was
happened.
the sound. Yeah. Damn, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Holy shit, we should probably wrap this up.
That's probably about time to wrap up anyway.
Yeah, I didn't
We've
realize
given
we were going
value.
for this
We
long.
did like 30 minutes of value. That's more than last time. So that was very generous.
What,
of
you
us.
didn't think our Andrew Tate impressions were valuable?
No, I thought
Just
Yeah,
because you
that
can't
is-
do an Andrew Tate impression like Austin and
Well,
I
I come to
can,
one-
Avery, doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it's not valuable.
True. I'm just jealous.
I got the value from the walls.
Exactly. Depends on what you value, man. You value the laws, then it's all good.
All right, yeah, we can wrap up. Yo, guys, let us know in the comments what topic you want us to cover for the next one. So we're doing. Someone was like, "Can you guys do these weekly?"
It's got to be Andrew Tate.
I was.
We're the Andrew Tate reaction channel, bro.
We're gonna chill out. On Andrew
Most
Tate
views.
for 2 months. But yeah, someone was like, "Yo, can you guys do these weekly?" I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of what we've been doing." But yeah,
We do them weekly.
but
I don't know if that should be like I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. Maybe I would like to think that the optimist in me is thinking like, oh my God, I love it when these guys get together and they just can't wait for it. And they just don't realize that it's like once a week. But the pessimist in me tells me that they just don't watch.
Yeah, well, you guys can give us feedback.
That's a
Let
good
us know-
idea. I like
let
that
us know
one.
in the-
I like
let-
that one. I like that.
Well,
one.
React to Andrew Tate.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me interrupt here. Let us know in the comments what you guys want us to cover next time. But it's not gonna
No,
be-
okay. I think this is a fair thing. We don't want to do Andrew Tate 3 weeks in a row. That's a bit excessive.
Oh no, if you just
So, yeah,
like,
we'll
man,
be
we're
doing something
fucked.
else. But we got to make sure that we're doing a topic because we want to increase our numbers every time. We hit a new milestone today. I think our top number was like 415 or something like that.
Right.
So yeah. Let me answer this. Do you still cold approach or you usually do? I've always done mostly dating apps, man. Like honestly, you're always gonna go with what's easiest because that's kind of gonna be your default.
Well, if you're
but
a
that's why I
beta
force
male,
my
Top
but no, that's
G's
why
do what's hard because it's hard, bro.
Hey, top G's don't go day game. You're only gonna find ugly girls from day gaming.
Yeah, your 9's a fucking 5, bitch.
But no, so that's why when I went to Vegas, I was like, I'm gonna do a lot of cold approaches with Avery because I just don't do them enough, you know. And for some reason, some people just thought I was like some fucking.
I don't know if you can
hater for
hear.
doing
Is
that.
my audio still fucked up?
Ah, it's
He
so
asked
terrible.
that question like 100
It somehow got
times,
worse.
So it's kind of annoying to do that.
I will say though, something that I noticed with cold approach is this like because like I said before, I would just go out at night, get drunk. Like that's kind of what naturals do. When people talk about naturals, it's usually just these Chad bros from college just getting pissed drunk and just doing whatever. But I actually wanted to like do it sober, and it was pretty scary at first. But then like you do it often enough, it just becomes another thing. Like the very last night I was there.
There we go.
There we go. We're better now.
Have you
Like-
tried turning it off and on again, dude? I did it.
Genius. Like the last 3 nights that I was in Vegas, I wanted to make sure that I had 50 infield approaches filmed, and I only had like 17. So the last 2 nights, I made myself a deal where I was like, I can't eat food until I film.
Okay, I'm
like
gonna have to
30
interrupt the
approaches.
Kevin podcast. There's like this guy has like 500 questions about me and Vadim. I have nothing bad to say about Vadim. He's a great mentor, and he's awesome. He's a great game. I don't know what else to say. We're not in business together, so we're not hanging out all the time. We live in different cities. I don't understand what we should be doing. Should we be spending all of our time together? Living in different cities?
So is Vadim your coach White Pill?
Well, no, because he's
Vadim
good.
was just my mentor.
Yes,
because he doesn't suck. So he
I don't know if you saw the
faded
top
irrelevancy.
5 best pickup artists, dude. He was one of them. So
yeah.
Here's the real question.
Coach White
wait,
Pill's
who was
one of the
number
greatest
1?
pickup
Alex,
artists
who
of
was
all
number
time.
1 on the list?
It
Coach
wasn't
White Pill.
ranked. There was no ranking.
Oh, okay.
Would you?
It was
Here's the
Coach
real
Banana.
question.
What you're saying is I'm better than John Anthony. Are you going on record as saying that?
You are better than John Anthony.
I'm
I would
asking-
stake my life on that.
I'll
I'm better than John Anthony.
Alex is
I'm
like,
not even a
I
pickup
literally
artist.
I physically cannot answer that question. I will have a hitman sent to my house.
No, dude, I don't care. I would answer. No, it's just I don't know how to evaluate you guys because you guys are so different. Well, actually,
Yeah,
there's a lot
I
of-
agree.
There's a lot of overlap between what you do. Like you guys both believe in a more like natural like type of approach. You guys both don't really rely on lines. But I think there are a lot of fundamental differences
No.
between.
Here, I'm going to settle this right now.
Wait, hang on.
Austin has something called charisma, which is something that John Anthony has 0 of. So I know for a fact that Austin is way better.
Wait, did you
John
call
Anthony
me?
has more height.
He does, sure.
Wait, Kevin,
But
did you call me what?
his face also looks like it got ran over by a train. So, kind of balances out.
Dude, I
And
have
plus,
a
you have a high vertical, don't you? So you can
That's
jump
true.
up to his level. So it's
If
all
we
good.
need to grasp something very high, it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think Austin and
I
John
love this.
Anthony-
Careful, Kevin. John is going to roast you. Okay. If he wants to roast me because he's too afraid to debate me, then that's fine. He also might send me another cease and desist letter. So go for
Dude, but John Anthony, he's had more decades to learn the game. So how do you evaluate that? You got to give him some kind of handicap.
it. So
He's like 40 or something, right?
no, look,
That'd be
I
like
come at it from a
saying,
different
hey,
perspective.
I beat this 8-year-old at chess. It's like, yeah, but you're like 38.
No, but
Yeah,
I just don't
3
I
decades. of
don't
chess
think
experience, you know?
game transcends everything. I think looks matter a lot too. You're better looking. You have more charisma, and charisma is a big part of the game.
I don't think they're being rated on.
Wait, are you saying that there's more than just game? You're saying there's looks and lifestyle and like career and building a life with someone and your ability to connect with people?
No, man, it's just about you having a specific system. You just have the right system.
I thought I was talking to some blue pill motherfucker over here.
Nah, dude. I mean, if we're being honest, I think they're
what color pill are you?
I think they're fairly even when it comes to looks. Austen is a lot younger, but John is a lot taller and more jacked. So it's a draw.
Dude, John is not jacked at all. He looks like a fucking potato, bro.
He's like 230 pounds, dude.
Yeah, he's fat. Congratulations.
I mean, come on.
If I was at that body fat, I'd be like 250 pounds.
I mean, like,
what if Alex is just like, dude, he's jacked as fuck. He's 400 pounds.
I mean, if we're like being objective, he's like not fat.
Dude, he's jacked as fuck. He needs to buy like 3 airplane seats every flight.
I mean, it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't even be possible for Austen to be that jacked because John is on TRT and Austen is not. Like that would be Austen would have.
Wait, he said that he wasn't on TRT.
Dude,
he said apparently
my
that was
testosterone
slander
is
that I said
1,000.
that he was
bro.
on TRT.
Last time
what's your testosterone, Alex? Your testosterone is like 2,000.
Yeah,
right?
Mine was
So
like
it was slander. Okay.
He said it was slander. I said he was on TRT when actually apparently. He
Alex, if my level of testosterone surpasses yours through natural means, will you pay me $1,000? Can that be a bet?
Yeah, but I would
just up your TRT.
I would just inject more.
Fuck, dude.
You can't beat someone on TRT like through natural means. Like you'll never you can't get past like 1,000 or 1,100. Your body.
Here's the reason that I don't think John Anthony has any game. He's just like the most unlikable person of all time. And if you're unlikable, girls aren't gonna like you. You know what I mean? Like if you're just unlikable in general. Like does anybody look at John and think like this? That's probably
no. Sometimes girls like guys who are very, very annoying, but they're just alpha.
Okay, so this is
but that's the thing. He's not alpha at all.
This is my girlfriend. She for the record, she's not that fond of John Anthony, and she met him in real life.
That's not a shock. I mean, she's
but John Anthony is in real life is super charismatic. Like that's just her opinion. If she disagreed, she would be the first one to be like, "I hate him. I don't think he's charismatic."
Well, dude, he's got to learn to show that on camera, then, man.
Kevin, would you fight John Anthony?
Sure. I don't give a fuck. Why not? I'm 28. I'm 28. He's 39, and I'm twice his strength. So yeah.
I mean, he's larger.
Let's do it.
But the age is probably a bigger handicap overall.
He's not larger.
Yeah,
just because he has more body fat.
He weighs more, right? He's taller.
Oh, he's definitely larger.
Okay, congrats. You put on more body fat. That's
well, he's 6'4", right? So he's like 2.5 inches taller or so.
So what? Does he have a 6'8" wingspan? Does he have a 6'8" wingspan? I doubt it. Let's do it, John. Let's do a boxing match. Let's do it.
Dude, you guys haven't.
I do not like you. I do not like you, John. I would.
I mean, it would make you go viral. Hey,
I would love nothing more, John, than to punch you in your stupid face.
Put a one in the chat if you want to see a boxing match between Kevin and John.
Let's do
That's
it.
how we make the pickup industry mainstream again.
Dude,
guys, I am not eating squash. This is a
Avery. Can we tell them about the boxing thing or no?
No.
Or do you not want
this
to?
is squash. Okay.
What's the boxing?
This is acorn squash.
Nothing.
We just
know the
see
difference.
We're getting a lot of ones.
Just nonstop ones. What do we need to
Yeah,
do?
Put a 3 in the chat if you like acorn squash.
We've never gotten that much engagement from a question.
What do we need to do to make this boxing match happen?
Have John grow a pair of balls.
Damn.
We bring John.
Dude, Kevin
bring
means
John
war,
to.
bro.
Yeah, I know.
We bring John to a surgery clinic. You know, the thing where they change your genitals. We take out his ovaries and then we shape them into testicles. Okay, so we take out his ovaries, we shape them into testicles, and then attach them to his tiny little wiener, which somehow he still has, even though he also has ovaries.
So I take
and then
it,
from
you're
there
not
we
his
can
biggest
set up
fan,
the
huh?
boxing match.
Not his biggest fan.
Yeah,
No, I love John Anthony. I think he's great.
Kevin, I like you, but I don't think you would win in a boxing match against John Anthony.
Why do you think that?
I think John Anthony has more fighting experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I
being
used to work at a
39
boxing
is a
gym,
pretty
but sure.
huge disadvantage, though.
But were you boxing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't have said that, but yeah.
Would you? Okay.
No, I've never boxed in my life ever.
Here's the question: would you be willing, if there was a GoFundMe and we raised the money for a plane ticket, would you be willing to fly out to Brazil for the boxing match? If you didn't
Oh,
have
me?
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you said Austin.
No. If you didn't have to pay for any of the flight, would you fly out to do it?
No. Oh, I'm not going to fucking Brazil. Dude,
Well, why
as
should
much
he
as
come to
John
you?
Anthony
He's
hates
the
me,
bigger
Hold on,
YouTuber.
hold
Why
on.
should
No,
he
no,
come
no,
to
no,
you?
no, no, no. No, this is a safety thing. As much as I know John Anthony hates me, you could fucking hire like a fucking hitman or something, bro.
I mean, that would be
Dude,
pretty
I'm not even
obvious.
fucking
Like,
joking.
they
You can
get
get
caught.
you can
Come
get
on.
away with that
Even
shit
if someone did
easily
that,
in
they would
third
get
world
caught.
countries.
They know they get caught. They
No
wouldn't do
one's
that. They'd have to
hiring
be an
you.
idiot.
This is a YouTube
All right,
box.
I'm
let's
not going
do it
to
in
fucking
Miami.
Brazil.
Let's do it in Miami. Miami.
Let's do it.
Because then
Miami
Alex
does make the
boxing
most
match.
sense.
Come on, John Anthony.
Miami
Let's
makes the
do
most
it,
sense.
buddy.
Because it's in
It'll
the
be a
US.
good
it's a
time. And
first world
don't do any of
country,
that cop out
cheap
shit that you tried to
flights.
do at Danny Mullen. He was like
Alex can be the ref.
Oh, I'll
He can
do
be
it
the
for
ref.
if there's like $500,000 on the line. Hey, I don't have that much money, bro, so that's not gonna happen. All right.
Did you say Danny Mullen, the YouTuber?
Yeah. He
What about-
was supposed to do like a pickup competition, but then John Anthony was like, "I'll do it if there's like $500,000 on the line." I'm like, okay.
I just don't think he cares enough to like travel for the fight. That's the thing.
No, cause he cares. That's
Think of the
exactly why he's
marketing
not going to do
opportunity
it.
there.
I think you care more than he does, Kevin.
I think there would need to
Dude,
be.
Here's the thing. I never went out of my way. I always, out of respect for Alex being my friend, I never went after John Anthony publicly ever. And then John Anthony made an entire stream, like, going after me, featuring Coach Whitefield.
We get
which
some
is
of the
actual
worst comments
slander.
and some of the best comments. It's a mixed bag.
It's a spectrum.
I didn't even see what happened.
I don't know, dude. I
Hire
would-
Austen to beat you to death with this.
I would love to see this fight happen. I don't think it is because there's not enough incentive.
Dude, did John Anthony even play sports like in high school?
I have no idea. I didn't know him in high school.
He did
But
chess.
I think there's only two ways to make this fight happen. One is if you make it convenient and you're willing to fly, or two, if there's money on the
No,
line.
it's not going to happen. The only way it's going to happen is, like I said before, if he takes out his ovaries and reshapes them into testicles and then attaches them to his tiny dick. And then at that point, he might have just enough testosterone to have enough courage to actually fight me.
I don't know, dude. If I was in his shoes, I don't think I would travel to a foreign country to fight like a person on YouTube.
It's
You're not, he's not traveling to like Uganda.
It's
He's
not a
traveling to
foreign
the country
country.
he was born
Why
in.
do I have to go out of my way to go travel to him? Well, because he has more subscribers than me. But
You
like,
should
he
go out
has
of your
more
way to travel to
subscribers.
Miami.
We get like a
halfway.
similar amount of views.
I don't think
Flights
you
to
have
Miami are cheap as fuck.
I'm just saying I think that's
Yeah,
the only
Miami.
way. No, I don't think you have to. I'm just saying I think that's the only way it would happen if we're being practical.
So the only way that it'll happen is if John isn't a huge bitch.
Yeah,
That's really what you're
Like,
saying.
why would he travel if there's no money on the line? Like, why would he do it? Like, I just don't see the incentive.
So he can hang out with you.
He's the one that ask him. He's the one that started this shit. I literally
started. That's
a
good one.
No, seriously. I kept it behind the scenes where he wanted to collab with me, and I said no, respectfully no, because I'm against you doxing people. He doxed Wheat Waffles. I'm like, I'm not going to associate myself with somebody like that.
I thought that was kind of funny.
And then he goes out of his way to
Wheat Waffles kind of deserved it. I don't know, but that's me.
No, I don't think
No,
anybody
I
ever
don't
deserves doxing.
I don't think Wheat Waffles deserve. I don't think
anybody, even the biggest piece of shit,
No.
even John Anthony, as
Deserves
much as I
what?
don't
What
like
do you
him,
guys
It was
doesn't-
public information. It was a Facebook profile. It's not like
It's
What are you
still
talking
doxing because it wasn't
Still.
publicly available.
Guys, none of the
Yeah,
viewers know what you're talking about, so you got to explain it.
We're
So,
talking about the Wheat Waffles John doxing video.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know what that means,
On
but
that
okay.
part, I actually agree with Kevin.
Yeah. Hey, you could have your favorite tranny volunteer as tribute,
Hey,
John.
if you can take a dick, you can take a punch.
Hey, how about this question? What would it take to bury the hatchet between you two?
the pickup competition, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that, but then I also just want John to just stop. Just for him to just just acknowledge wrongdoing.
So you would need like a public apology or a private apology? What
No, private apology is fine.
I mean, that's not gonna
just
happen.
tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
There's 0.0% chance of that.
Of
happening.
course not. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist, and he's a deeply insecure
Damn,
narcissist.
dude.
I know these types inside and out because I used to work for.
This is a really good question. What would your
Yeah,
life
that's-
have
that's a
been if you
dark-
came across
dark
Wheat
thing to
Waffles
think about.
content when you were depressed? It
Not
probably
good.
wouldn't have been good. It would just like lock me deeper into like victim mindset, you know? Whereas like learning about game, it was all about like a growth mindset. It's like you're not going to stay static. You don't have to stay the same. You're always changing, and you can choose how to change yourself. Whereas this is kind of like, well, you're kind of locked into this forever. So
fatalism. You have no free will, basically.
Yeah, it's just it's also not
circumstances.
It's also not.
Yeah, but
true.
here's the
Like,
thing: Wheat Waffles. He literally on a recent video said encourage people to cold approach. So like,
if they're like 6s, and his definition of a 6 is like, almost a male model. So
yeah, I just don't think that he's nihilistic the same way that like Incel TV is, for example.
Mateo's calling you out, Kevin.
Hey, boxing match. Boxing match.
Boxing match.
Let's get a whole fucking
boxing match some fucking random person. And that's not my forte is debate. I'm happy to debate anybody.
Dude, I'd actually say the opposite. I feel like a lot
not
or
true
even
at all.
most dating coaches are actually short. Like if you think of like just RSD back in the day, it was like Jeffy's fucking a midget.
5'7".
Max
Tyler's
is like
5'7".
fucking 4'3".
Justin Mark is 5'4".
Justin Mark's like 5'2". It's like they're all midgets.
So you know what this
like
really
5'7".
This is his reflection of his negative beliefs. He can only see things that reaffirm the idea that only tall guys can be successful. So he doesn't even notice all the short fucking coaches, which is
Carl,
a
you
bad sign
fucking
about your
confirmation
mindset.
bias looking ass motherfucker.
So you should be aware of that.
To be fair, I don't know any good short coaches. Jeffy, not that good. Max,
Yeah,
not that good.
I'm.
What about Austen?
4'3".
Austin's not short.
I'm exact average height, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, you are. Okay, my bad.
Austin's like what, 5'9", 5'10"?
Valentino Cohen, boom. Dude, Valentino Cohen is like, he looks like a hobbit, and he's had some of the craziest
And
stuff.
he pulls
that he's
hot ass
pulled off.
chicks.
Like he's
I've
stolen
only ever
girls from
seen-
guys, stuff like this.
I've only ever saw one video of him that's him.
It was
stealing
really
that
good.
ball. It was really good if it was real.
No, his infield's really good. It's just he switched to
So
to
Alex,
business
take back what you said.
randomly
You're wrong.
with some bullshit.
I don't know how he is as a coach though. I just only ever saw one infield of him. I'm
You
not gonna
can be
say-
great at game and not be a good coach.
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Alex, this is called moving the
Absolutely.
goalpost. You said there are no good dating coaches who are short. So
Coaches implies they can coach, right?
you know what? Go fuck yourself, Alex. Stop redefining everything and fucking.
Dude, I do this all day, 24/7. You're not gonna be. What are we gonna do our debate on economics? Remember we said we were gonna do that one day.
Oh yeah, we should.
Why?
Do that.
Ugh.
Can we do it
I
on
can
Kevin's
post it on my
channel?
channel.
Let's do it on Kevin's channel. We don't want to burden our audience with
Yeah.
fucking facts and logic.
Hey, my audience actually likes that shit. So.
Alex, I will say you are super blue pilled when it comes to this stuff. You're just like, yeah, I just want like a little bit smaller government, and everything will be fine. And the things that have happened for the past 5,000 years in all societies and civilizations around the world won't happen again. It'll just be.
What does it mean to be blue pilled when it comes to like public policy?
You're basically like everything that the government has indoctrinated you in school. You're just like going along with basically. Like you every argument that you make in terms of like for the government is basically like someone saying it's just your truth and my truth, and it's like this kind of stuff.
But do you think that one can agree with the mainstream opinion? Do you think all the mainstream opinion?
The mainstream is sometimes right. Yeah, for sure.
So that's the only thing. I'm not doing it because that's whatever the mainstream opinion is because I agree with the mainstream opinion on some things.
And it's not saying it's it's something wrong with you. It literally is like the people's first intuitive responses to any of this stuff is basically exactly what you said.
No, but I've thought about
the
this stuff
roads.
a lot. I've thought I don't talk about politics a lot publicly, but I talk about privately all the time. I've thought about all this stuff like in extreme detail. So I'm not
when you say who will build the roads, that means that you have like little knowledge to the arguments against your position. Like it shows that you haven't like once glanced at them, because that's like the biggest laughing stock of this whole debate. It's like
what is the significance of build the roads? I don't know what you're talking about.
As soon as I talked about anything to do with market anarchism, you were like,
It's
who
gonna
will
be
build
another
the
hour.
road? And it's like, dude, that's like the first funny
Got it
art. That's like
started.
a meme in the market anarchism community. Who will
Sure,
build the
but
road?
you need a central government to fund public projects. Yeah, like there just needs to be some kind of central funding.
By definition, yes.
Right. So if you have pure anarchy and you don't have any kind of central funding, like you're not going to get any kind of public works, whether it's dams or.
We are experts on that.
Well,
I didn't even know North
I'll save my
Macedonia
comments
was
for
a
the
country.
debate. Clearly, all you're saying public spaces where people can hang out and stuff only are done through government works.
Nope, not saying
which
that.
is completely wrong.
Not saying that, but I'm saying that a lot of the yes, there's some that are done by private charities and groups, but the big ones, the big ones are built by the government typically.
Yeah, and think about Miami. You know, like Biscayne Park right next to you. That's the best place that everyone hangs out in, with 300 homeless people around there. Yeah,
well,
and then the place that everyone does want to hang out, which is basically in Brickell, is like the mall in fucking Mary Brickell Village. It's like that's just a private doing. So,
like, who in your opinion is going to build the dams?
Who's going to build the dams, Alex? Who would build the dams? There's no energy company that could ever figure out and hire engineers to build a dam. That's only could be done by a government, bro. Nothing has ever been built by a private company ever. They can't figure it out, bro.
I think we fundamentally disagree. I don't think privatization is a solution to everything. This is a very Ayn Rand position or whatever. This is what that guy.
No, you actually are more closely to her. I'm not an Ayn Rand supporter.
No, I'm not.
Ayn Rand is a believer in small government. I'm not a believer in small government.
So you believe there should be no government at all?
Government is essentially a leech on society. Everything could be done better with the private sector, except maybe it depends what your values are, because you could argue that government does environment better, but throughout history, obviously, governments are the biggest polluters of the environment. But they do good for national park systems. I do agree with that.
So you think
that's the only thing government does well.
So you think there should be no government, right?
Yeah. And another thing is everything the government does, they can do similarly to the private sector, except they spend 10 or more times as much on it. For example, my buddy here works for NASA. The rockets that they build are 18 times more expensive than what SpaceX can build for the same thing. So you're basically squandering 18 times of the value that society could have with overpaying for rockets. So that's just one example.
Okay, I just want to be clear. But so you're
another example would be like private what's it called? Private charities versus public welfare. You get 10 times the amount of money to the people in need through private charities than you do through public welfare.
Finland is actually pretty good. I went there and picked up girls, but no, I'm not like I think
Finland's actually extremely free market as well.
I'm not like hardcore left. I'm actually
there's only like 10 million people.
I'm pretty down the center politically. But okay, we can definitely do this bit. I mean, that's interesting. So you think like government should basically be like America would be better if we didn't have like the U.S. government, basically, right? That's your position.
The resolution I would give is that a country, I would say this, a mono-ethnic country that has a history of property rights would be far better served by being in market anarchism than in under the control of a government. Yeah.
Which means abolish the government.
Time to message some bitches on Tinder.
Well, we can save it for the debate. It's turning into debate. We can save it. I think
I'm trying to think of what the stream should be. It's like,
I think
is Alice playing with fire, secretly a blue-pilled beta male?
I don't know what
that should be.
What is blue pill about? Like wanting to have like a military and like a government?
I'm just using Austin's words.
Because you've basically been brainwashed to think that that's a good thing.
Vadim is Canadian, and so is Justin Mark.
Yo, whoever put the Finland comment, check out this. This is a ranking of all countries and how free market they are, and Finland is the 9th freest economy in the world. So. U.S. isn't even top 10 anymore. U.S.
What some of these comments? Like,
USA is 25th now.
I go closer to the camera, and he's like, "Why are you posing like a light skin?" I'm like, "I'm literally just sitting here looking at the fucking screen. I'm sorry that you think I'm pretty."
Just to be clear, Finland has a pretty high tax rate.
Did you take him off of the stream because of his?
He was too beta, too blue pill.
Dude, you didn't even like put him. You literally removed him from the whole studio. What the fuck did you do? Unless his computer died.
That was weird.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you guys get kicked out too?
No, because you didn't even go to like the waiting area. You went like out of the whole stream.
Yeah, it was weird to kick me out. But yeah,
one way to win a debate.
Somebody did kick you out then.
See, finally, like someone who agrees.
That's the real purpose of this fucking shit. That's the value.
I mean, our viewers are still
Alex. So we should have
more
like
Andrew
maybe
Tate.
3 areas where we talk about, because you could literally talk about every single thing a government does and every single thing like the private industry could do. But it would get too broad.
I mean,
you know?
that's kind of true.
Well,
Andrew Tate's
we should
right
maybe
about
talk
that, no
about
offense.
general and then like 3 main areas.
I think the
He's
debate
kinda
should
right.
be like, what is
Viking country, no?
What is a better type of government? Like,
Yeah, 1,000 years
I would
ago.
argue for like a slightly smaller central government with reasonable restrictions, and you argue for no central government at all, right? So that would be
What do you think the government should be doing?
like in what sense?
That could also be another debate resolution. You'd say exactly what functions you think the government should perform. For example, like a night watchman state would be police, courts, national defense.
Yeah, I would be for like basically keeping things as is with a little bit less government, but not substantially less than we have now.
Basically, as is means government is just raping the productive capacity of an entire country of people and squandering tons of money, and people are living in poverty as a result. They're basically like using their influence, and people use their influence to get people to take tons of pharmaceuticals, have horrible food produced at a discount, destroying the health of a society. I don't believe it should be doing any of those things.
No, I agree with you. Well, all the things you mentioned, like I agree, the government has some problems. I think it's just I don't think it should be like.
There's a couple problems, but they can be smoothed out.
Well,
Let's try it again, even though it's never worked out in
You-
history.
you-
But,
You said earlier, don't throw the baby
pop it
out.
up.
with the bathwater.
We'll try it.
We'll only do 3
Probably
rounds
fine.
about
You said
politics.
earlier, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
FBI,
Yeah, I don't think
FBI,
there's a need for
CIA,
us to make a separate stream. You guys are already
stealing
going
from
at it
Peter to
now.
pay Paul, taxation. It's all okay. It's a little bit changes.
Yeah, but you have to moderate, Kevin. I feel like Austin's going to interrupt me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could definitely do.
Why are you not
I'm
including
serious. I
Alex?
think this is actually the fact that a lot of people are still stuck around for this conversation means that people will definitely.
Yo, that's what I'm thinking.
on my
Dude,
channel, I
Miami,
cover
we have a
this type of
pickup
stuff.
conference. We invite like literally everyone that we respect in this community to Miami. We have the biggest pickup conference in the world. And then at the end of it, we have Kevin fight J-Molf. We have like
Wait, dude,
we have like
I-
a
That's the
boxing
finale.
structure.
Well, everything about
Like a
the last
championship
thing you
model.
said, I posted that in the group chat. Remember, I said I'm going to organize a conference and that you guys are all going to be invited. Remember, you're taking the words out of my mouth. Remember how I was talking about that? Do you guys remember
Yeah.
in the group chat?
I didn't know it was like pickup specific. though.
Whatever. Doesn't
like
matter. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to.
Do you want us to put your name at the bottom? Originally thought of by Alex. He is
Yes,
the
I would like
originator
that.
of all
Thank
ideas.
you very much.
This is
Austin.
my idea.
Our dear leader.
Can you please do that? I want to get the credit. I want to feel good.
Well,
Dude,
when
this is the problem with
realistically
throwing a
would you
pickup
wanna do
conference.
that?
People are too lazy and dumb to like book $100 flight. Like they just. So we'd either have to do it in some place like New York or LA.
No, I think Miami's good. I think a lot of people will be willing to come to Miami.
There's not many. The community's not that big in Miami.
Realistically, when would you want to
Dude,
do it?
no. There's pretty big. We like just in the Playing with Fire group. There's like hundreds of people who are in the Miami area.
That's
It's
your
way
group
big.
because you're from Miami, so you'd obviously have a bigger presence in Miami. But I'd say in general, like New York, LA, Toronto, London, like those are big.
Yeah, but those places are cold, man.
Well, one thing I was thinking about doing is doing it in Colombia. What do you think about that?
Then we'd get 7 people,
Okay.
and then we'd have the entire media after us.
Well, maybe you don't have. Maybe you should,
son tan malos. Ellos son explotando.
Dude, they
we could
just
do like
have
a
some
boot
fucking
camp
news
in
well,
articles.
maybe
Colombia,
you'll
but not a
have to
conference.
not fuck up Colombia for everyone, Austin.
Do I have to learn
It
Spanish?
doesn't
to make
matter what you
It's
do.
still
dude. You're a
ruined.
white
It's still
person
ruined.
talking about
Yes.
girls in Colombia.
Yes.
How do you
Here,
think
yes.
that's going to
Here.
turn out?
This person had the best idea. Go to Texas. Yeah, Austin, more specifically.
Wait, Austin is going to.
I appreciate you mentioning me, but I think it
Austin
probably
should
not
come
be
to
best
Austin.
in Texas.
I've been to Austin. It's all right. It's decent. I guess I would be down to go to Austin. Well, I think Miami would get a better turnout.
I'm down for Miami.
The problem with New
That's
York in
fine.
general is just the girls are like they're not that great.
New York will
In the
also be
summer,
very
there's hot girls. There's literally hot girls in New York for like 3 months out of the year during the summer when all the fucking interns come in, and then the rest of the year it's like it's not great. Like
There's
There's
another
a bunch of
problem.
Italians and Irish.
New York. Well, New York has
Girls.
hot girls, in my opinion, but I think New York is very expensive. The tickets will be higher because it'll cost us more for the venue, and the hotels will be higher. Everything will cost more in New York.
Oh yeah,
New York is one of the most expensive cities.
that's part of the New York experience. Is the overspend.
and dude, the
on
girls are
everything.
super SJW cucked in New York.
That's most cities.
I've
I
had
like the
pretty good-
complete lack of people's ability to just go, wait, this idea, where did I get this idea? Should I question this? Like, They just like go along with whatever they've been.
Most people have
told.
a sheep mentality, man. So
That's true.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think New York would be just too expensive overall.
Yeah, see, exactly. This guy gets it.
I mean, that fight would be
Dude,
highly-
not gonna argue with
Las
that
Vegas is actually a pretty good spot because you can get it's like the what's it called? It's really good for holding conferences. I think it's like the conference capital of like the US.
It is.
Like you can get conference rooms pretty cheap.
It's also close to a lot of other big cities, which makes it more convenient, right? It's close to Texas and it's close to California and Arizona, which all have some of the biggest cities in the country.
It's not that close to Texas. Maybe West Texas, where nobody lives.
Okay, well, it's very close to California and Arizona.
I'm not a fan of Vegas. I'd rather. I
Really?
Yeah, I've been there. I used to live in LA and I used to travel there all the time. I think it's fun for like going for a weekend. Not a place I would want to live. Nor,
Well, yeah, are we talking about moving?
no, but also nor would it be a place where I would want to do a conference. I think.
I
Is this a
love the
separate
Mojave Desert, but yeah, Vegas. Vegas is good for infields, I guess.
I think we'd be better off in Miami or Austin, honestly.
Miami and Austin are actually both better for infield too than Vegas.
I appreciate that.
It would be funny if Austin lived in Austin.
Dude, Atlanta is actually a really nice city. I thought it was going to be a shithole when I went there. It's actually quite nice.
No,
I mean, there's bad areas.
There's bad areas.
But there's some really good clubs for game, like
it's pretty
Havana.
good for pickup from what I heard. Like we have this like really nerdy like fob Indian guy, and he lives in Atlanta, and he's like fucking routinely getting late from cold approach.
I'm pretty sure he's a guy who took a boot camp with me.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and he does do really well. He actually pulled twice in one night on the second night of the boot camp.
Oh.
Dude,
And
let's
both were
not do
attractive.
Toronto. Toronto is they'll have some SJW thing, and also their government's super cucked and retarded, and they have like no freedom of speech anymore. Like, dude, that's a shithole.
How about we do China?
Yes,
Do it.
I'm down. Now that their central banks are failing and everyone's protesting, I'm down. Sounds like a great time.
The problem
Those
is
are
they're
gonna
only
be desperate.
protesting
Almost
the
as if you
local-
A
give
Westerner
government
comes in,
control of the money supply, they don't manage it well, and they kind of like give it to their
Maybe just
friends.
come back to
It's
that.
fucking weird how that works, dude.
He never stops.
Found a way.
Do you believe, Alex? Do you believe the government should be in charge of the money supply?
I don't think it's as black and white as that.
Oh my god, dude. Okay.
Let's see if this turns into
All right,
Tate
yo.
versus Hasan too.
But how are you going to finance like decades-long wars if you don't have a printing press at the government's fingertips?
Like, you do need to have like a strong military. Like, would you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that?
I agree. You need to finance a giant military and then just have like forever wars that you just waste trillions of dollars in instead of getting to use that in society to benefit the people that pay your taxes.
Texas is good
in
my opinion.
Austin and
But you
with the
know,
pet, like
like,
Texas is huge.
city
so
matters,
keep in mind,
yeah.
like where.
But
So
you-
in
you-
Austin,
you're not-
yeah, it's fucking lit. Anywhere
You're
on
not
6th
both know those
Street,
are things I would agree with you on.
Now stop talking about game, Kevin. Shut the fuck up. No game.
Kevin,
I'm not.
no
I'm not
game
a fan of-
allowed, dude. Only Andrew Tate critiques and politics.
And
Fuck.
economics.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
it.
Can I defend my position?
No, fuck you, Alex. Actually, wait, is it about economics?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
You just made an argument that I didn't get a chance to respond to. All right, this will be the last one. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fan of like long ass wars.
I don't know why the views went down. I don't know.
That being said, it's still I think
It's still
essential
pretty
for
high.
the U.S. to have a strong military presence. Otherwise, Russia and China will step in and basically make us their bitch.
Yeah, the warlords will always take over.
Right, but I'd rather it be our warlords than other people's warlords.
San Diego's not like hard for game. It's pretty easy. in my
Do
experience.
infield in Afghanistan.
I mean, that is the
I've already
final
done it.
level of game.
Yeah, that is.
Actually, I think Saudi Arabia maybe actually no. Yeah, you're right. Afghanistan.
do it.
Austin,
Maybe Chad.
what do you think would happen if you took your massive dildo to Afghanistan and tried to do some cold approach there?
Dude, I wouldn't.
They'd
make
probably
it
chop
very
off
long.
his dick and use it as a dildo.
Some people would just start screaming unintelligible language at me, and I would feel very threatened, and they would just start like putting me in a circle around them and
This
then
guy
start
makes a good
stoning me.
point.
Yeah, all frauds. I've had students from Saudi Arabia, and they the only way they game is through Facebook. Like you can't like approach, and there's no dating apps. And if you do actually put your dating app in Saudi Arabia, it's like all like cartoon characters and everyone covering their face. It's fucking weird. So basically, you meet.
That's
girls
how
like
it is in Japan too.
But
Japan,
it's-
they all cover their face. It's weird.
But Well, no, I've sent my Tinder to Japan when I did my experiment. There was a lot of people who showed
He's
their
wearing
face.
a poncho now.
No, but there's a lot of girls that put like an emoji and stuff over their face. You didn't see that at all?
Not much. No, honestly, I didn't. Not when
That's
I did.
weird because
Kevin,
what
do you
city
think-
did you put it in?
Tokyo.
Do you think Japan could fix the problem by having trains that stayed open later and they didn't have such a they like made it like you can only work 5 days out of a week? Because that's like the biggest problem is like they work 6 days a week. The trains like shut down at 12, so you can't like fuck.
Yep.
And the taxis are super expensive.
Yeah, that's not the reason that they have an
there's-
incel
there's-
problem. They have an incel problem
there are
because
cultural issues there.
it's very cultural.
Think about how much soy
There's a lot of sexual shame.
So Kevin, let's put you in charge. You are now emperor of Japan. You can choose to do anything in the society. How do you fix Japan's incel problem in the next 5 years?
Well,
let's be real. It's not the incel problem. It's the problem is they're not having kids. How do you make them fuck?
No. But it's also an incel problem. That's an extension of the incel problem. Well,
Okay,
I would
you
put
get
restrictions
full
on
power.
abortions. I would put restrictions on abortions because that's very prevalent in Japan. So automatically you're going to increase the amount of kids when you do that.
I've already done
that.
No, I was just responding. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then honestly, I'd have all of them. This is going to sound super cringe, but I'd have all of them read. Well, not super cringe, but they need to read some Western philosophy, I think.
He wasn't fucking around.
Damn.
The one of the problems is there's like a lack of individualism there, and they actually actively
AG flexing on us with that Tinder Gold.
Look at that! Look at that!
That says Dingo. Dingo
That's her
means,
whole profile.
Dude, she
So
looks
Dingo-
fucking like a snack.
Dingo
bro.
means apple, so her name is Apple.
But do you think a massive part of the problem is they eat a lot of soy and that lowers their testosterone?
No.
How does eating so much seafood with the mercury and microplastics affect the society?
Probably not that good either.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't affect their longevity, apparently. But
Dude, she's hot as fuck. AG,
Yeah, damn.
Swipe right.
Yeah,
she
swipe
wasn't
right.
Japanese. Her name's Lynn.
Yeah, she looks South
Super
Korean.
super like. So we
Super
can.
like,
Do you have the
right.
platinum thing where you can message them right away?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Did you put it?
oh, I didn't-
Did you
yeah,
put
I
it in
didn't put the
Asia?
message.
Did you like
Yeah, fucked up.
put it in
I put it in
Asia? Is
Japan.
that-
I was curious. Oh, here's another baddie. All right, super like. What's the
all right.
message? These girls are
Say
hot.
something in Japanese.
Ones with pictures.
Anata wa utsukushi.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to spell that?
Holy shit,
I'm
we're
gonna put it in the
gone.
chat or something.
We're gone for over 3 hours.
Spell it like it sounded, dude.
It means you're pretty.
Okay,
or
yeah, I
you're
got
beautiful.
it. Onaka Watso.
Onakawa? No. Onakawa means like your stomach. You're literally
I got it.
pronouncing.
Yeah, your stomach looks nice.
All right,
Something along those
send.
lines.
Send.
Yeah,
Prove that it's
I
sent.
got
We
this.
should wrap up soon because we're going on 3 hours, so I don't think the stream is going to be digestible.
Fair. Well, hey, we were going to do
Kevin didn't
a
fix-
shorter stream, and then you guys started a debate about
What's the difference? 3
I know,
hours and
Austin-
6 minutes versus 3
Austin-
hours and
Austin-
12 minutes.
Austin-
Nothing.
exactly.
Just
Kevin,
2 more
fix
minutes. Just 2
Japan.
more minutes. Just 2 more minutes.
2 more
I got
minutes of
the
Kevin
Google-
fixing
I got
Japan.
the Google.
Yeah, so I'd have them read Western philosophy, have them
Alex has
understand
been
Indian
really-
You'd have them-
psychology.
Fuck this. You'd have them
And more
read Western
specifically-
philosophy.
Hey,
That's
Yeah, well, no, more specifically the shadow. Yeah. What the
this is a
hell?
Kevin only podcast. What the fuck? Where's Kevin, dude? We need
What's
you.
happening?
The order's fucked up now. We can't continue. Oh my
Yeah.
yeah,
god.
this doesn't make sense.
How are people
I
supposed
would
to watch
put
past
sort
the
of
3 hour
like,
and 7 minute mark now?
yeah, I'm gonna seduce Japan, baby. That's my plan. No, you know what's interesting? That's actually I think I'm gonna eventually be in Japan to help those guys out. I think that's like my destiny. And it's not there's so many
they need
very
it.
specific cultural things. Yeah, it's not necessarily like they need to know how to pick up girls because you try and pick up stuff in Japan.
They're very reserved, right? It doesn't work
They're
that
very reserved. One of the reasons that some Westerners can get away with it in Japan is because they treat Westerners different. But it'll be tough for actual Japanese people to do that with other Japanese people because they're held to a different standard. It's hard to explain, but
But you'd help them Nietzsche Max.
pretty much. Well,
Didn't he
I'd
get
help them with
bitches?
no
Didn't he
fat.
have
So
no game?
yeah, he didn't have any game,
Yeah.
but that's
Wait, you
besides
teach
the
them how to
point.
no fap the Japanese?
No, seriously. Like no fap's like not a thing in Japan. People just like
This is like a
coon all the time.
Japanese thing, right? Herbivore men. What does that mean?
That's just
They
the
don't eat meat.
I have always been fascinated by the Japanese porn industry. Like, I really do want to, like, at some point in my life, go to Japan and shoot a porno.
Dude, apparently, so Kevin, I don't know if this is true anymore, but apparently all the interracial porn is only with black guys because they have like a cultural shame thing with losing World War II. Is this correct?
No, dude, Japan, they're so over World War II, like to the point where I have literally dealt with zero racism in Japan because I'm an American. It's only been good things because the U.S. came in and basically like helped rebuild Japan to become a global.
Yeah, that's true.
After World War, there's literally zero animosity. The only animosity that there is still is over the atomic bomb. And if you go to Hiroshima, there's a lot of people who think that, but they don't put the blame solely on the U.S. They just try to petition for the atomic bomb to for people to not have them in their countries. There's like zero animosity there, man.
The use of submarines against merchant marine vessels in Japan is what helped us win the war, in addition to obviously the atomic bomb.
No, it was the atomic bomb because if just the Japanese mentality, people don't understand. If there was a land invasion, they would have fought to the last baby, unless they thought that like.
Oh yeah,
like
have you heard about the guy that was like
into
the 1970s? He was fighting. He was like on some island and he was just like eating fucking lizards to survive and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And dude, imagine the entire country full of those people. Like they're just not going to give up.
Someone's read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Have you listened to the whole podcast from Hardcore History? The guy Dan Carlin, he talks about the Japanese side of the war.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like the best podcast ever made.
I love Dan Carlin, and I loved his when he was covering the Mongols and how evil Genghis Khan actually is.
No, he's a Chad.
Yeah.
Damn, this guy just said Alex fucking sucks and eats fucking poop out of the toilet, dude.
Well, what?
It's fucking rude, dude. Hold on, I'll ban him.
I haven't done that in a while.
Good point.
This guy said that all that Alex does is gossip.
That's not true.
This guy said that Alex doesn't know how to strip.
That's probably true.
Yeah. This is a perfect point. The Japanese hate other Asians more than they hate Americans. Absolutely. My Japanese grandmother, bless her heart, but when I told her that I was going to go live in Thailand for a little bit, she was disgusted. But it's not just Japanese toward other Asians. Like all Asians hate other Asians. It's fucking weird. They're all racist toward each other.
Yeah, they have like this weird Asian rivalry. I have noticed that.
Like China hates Korea. Korea hates China. Both China and Korea hate Japan. Japan hates both of them too. Like it's just fucking weird. The only people that like love everybody is the Philippines. The Philippines is accepting of every culture. But other than them, Vietnam hates China. Oh my God. Thailand hates China. All of them hate China. But basically the whole world hates China other than but
Chinese citizens hate China too. They're just not allowed to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of them actually do love the Chinese.
Dude, I really like Chinese girls.
Yeah. No, so that's the issue is a lot of Asians actually hate Chinese people. The rest of the world just hate the Chinese government. But I'm telling you, a lot of Asians. Most
Chinese
Asians
girls
that are
I've
Chinese
met have
hate
the
Chinese
best taste in music.
And the worst taste in shaving their pussies.
What the? I think at this point,
ASMR.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up.
You guys can leave. I'm gonna do 47 minutes of ASMR.
Burping ASMR. Yeah, I'm surprised at this point we still have over 200 viewers.
Welcome to an ASMR.
And this isn't even on my main channel right now. As well.
Everyone grab your 22-inch dildo.
I feel like this is devolving. I'm gonna dip.
Okay.
This is fun. This
All
is
right.
a fun stream.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Hey, download my free book. Go do it.
Watch my testosterone video. Austen Summers Testosterone YouTube.
Yes. Everybody plug their shit.
And my course
All
is
right,
only 200K.
everyone go
Make
buy
sure you get a copy.
The Ultimate
Hustlers
Dating
University.
System by,
Hustlers
Alex.
University.
Guys, I'm offering an affiliate program
link
for my free book. You get 100% of sales.
Once you guys sign up, you're in my upline. So every purchase you drive, you get 10% of, and then you can hire people underneath you. So it's basically Andrew Tate's at the top, then us, then you guys, and basically basically what happens. Yeah.
But do get Alex's course. Very, very comprehensive.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I haven't checked it
Yeah,
out
I
yet.
should
I
show,
literally
like-
logged in just now when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I logged in on the stream.
We could do a before and after like Tinder for me because
The information better be good because his layout is giving me PTSD, dude.
Dude, what?
Give me
Don't just my
anxiety.
layout. My layout was good. I think we organized it pretty well.
Guys, I'm pretty sure Alex is going to offer an affiliate program where you get 50% of the initial sale, and then if you're able to convince another person to do 50%, then you get 50% of their sale, and then it just keeps going and going and going. And so that's something new that Alex is starting, right, Alex?
It would be clever, but I hate affiliate shit. So I won't.
This is literally $1 billion side hustle. Like, I mean, obviously you could do the general route and just like get a bunch of vending machines or like invest in rare fish. But I think this is like so much more potential because the more people you on board, it just
Yeah.
Cool.
You get more people on board, and the people that they get on board, you also get part of that cash.
So ask your
And
uncles.
you're at the
Obviously,
top,
like
so
go to
you
your
get
uncles,
all
see
of
what they
that
think.
cheddar, bro.
Actually, the only thing I will plug is check out my podcast with the Mr. Slave guy last night. It was a fucking shit show.
I need to watch that after this.
Dude,
Yo, and check out AG's shirt. God damn, dude, where'd you get
comedy
that?
I
entertainment.
feel like you're going to the same place. It's Robert Graham, but it's very similar.
Nice.
Cool.
I got this literally for an ultimate competition.
I'm gonna dip.
Nice. That's
Okay.
peacocking. It kind of works.
And broadcast.
I need to